Hey everybody, we are back from the deep, a summer break edition. We have not done a show in a little while. We have to take some time. We talk too much football, and we sometimes got to take a little step back from the things you love to make sure you appreciate it. What's that rock song? You don't know what you got till it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Man, we are back from the deep. We got all the boys in here. We got TJ Stancliff. We got Mike Clark. We got Eric Wheeler. We are all in the house, ready to have a good time. Ready to do some off-season shit. We're going to talk a little bit about some roster stuff that's went down. As people know, we got Myles Garrett situations. We got to get the Browns fans' takes on that stuff. We got other free agency talk to go through. We got miscellaneous things to go through. We got Sorsby to talk about with all the shit he did. Definitely will be passionate about that. I'm so glad we're doing this episode after the boys been kind of bounced out because I would have been ranting if we were talking about when the NCAA literally bailed out that boy. And then we're gonna talk a little bit college football and have a good time with it. First of all, the icebreaker. We're doing a little random. We kind of run out. I'd say the good icebreakers for big episodes, so I decided to do some fun shit off the top of our dome. We're gonna do two of them. We're gonna do name your favorite no-name players from the NFL. Show off your ball knowledge. Now, when I say no name, there's a lot of stretches to that. I think there's a lot of arguments today of what ball knowledge is. And I don't always agree with some people needing to be so obscure for ball knowledge. To me, sometimes it just has to be a good season, a good play. Maybe the guy was a stud in college. Maybe there's injuries and so forth. And then we'll test our ball knowledge and go through what college player was bigger than their program. I've seen this question being asked a lot on different podcasts. I think it's a great question. What players by the time they left were just bigger than the team maybe the team's never even caught up since. First, we'll do the favorite no-name players. I'm going to pass this to the guy I know is an encyclopedia of no-name players, and he's probably the reason why they even have a name in the first place. They thank their mama for their name. Hell no, they need to thank TJ. TJ, give me some no-name players you got cooked up that you love from the NFL. Could be from the Browns, could be from anybody, and it could be very obscure. And if it's very obscure, do us a favor and explain who the guy is.
Yeah, so I brought you guys one of my favorite obscure players in today's game, and I can't wait to tell you guys about him. I'm talking about Delshawn Phillips,
What a name.
a linebacker from the Chargers. So let me drop some knowledge on Delshawn, man. Coming out of high school, Delshawn Phillips was a two-star recruit, and he committed to Western Michigan. Delshawn was academically ineligible and had to sit out a year. He went to Garden City Community College for 1 year and then transferred to Illinois. So he goes undrafted in 2019. He bounces around to 5 or 6 different squads, and he ends up on the Chargers for the 2025 season. Playing special teams, recorded more special teams tackles than any player in the NFL in the 2025 season. Your guy, Delshawn Phillips, just signed a new contract, 2 year, $7.5 million contract with the Chargers to stay on the team, man. Delshawn, I hear you, baby.
Oh man, I hear you. That's nice. We're going to have to clip that and tag that boy. That's clean. I also want to do this segment because of that example right there. Where like you could be a dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like no one knows about you till you get your shot. And that goes in all angles. Some guys are 5 stars and have to rebuild up. Some dudes aren't even ranked. I just saw Tyrese Halliburton talking about how he never even had a star, and then they started making up stars for him when he did well in college. Oh yeah, he's a 3 star. He goes, dude, I've never had a star, and y'all want to say I'm a 3 star now. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking dope. And he got paid. Man, special teams players. That's what this is all about. Special teams players. You need them. I love that. We'll do college on the next loop around. Do you have any other no names before I go to the next guy, TJ?
No, I wanted to tell you all about Delshawn, man. And but
Hell
real
yeah.
quick before we move on, let me just tell you, Delshawn had 25 special teams tackles last year. That's more than one a game. Now think about your special teamer tackling more than one guy a game, and then get back to me later. Delshawn Phillips.
And that's a locker room glue guy. Like, could you imagine, like, and I'm giving some grace here. Like, these guys are humans. Like, imagine being a vet and you're like, man, maybe like Allen last year on that team. Like, he was what, 13-year wide receiver and shit. Like, imagine like just being like, man, I don't know if I got it. And then you see this kid, just don't say a word. Just a nice kid. Don't fuck with anybody. He's just grateful to be there and he's just fucking smoking folks, dude. I love that. Man, and that'd be frustrating too. Like, you can be a special teams guy forever. Like, there's a ceiling for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, my
Yeah.
neck, bro, my
As
head.
soon as you're
Well,
30,
fuck.
they're like, we'll just get a rookie.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Thank you for your service. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna cut him right before he can get the insurance claim. You know what I'm saying? That's wild. All right, let's move it over to the other brainiac in the group, Eric Wheeler. These two, Eric and TJ, are nerds when it comes to this shit, and I love them for that. Eric, who you got for your no-name player?
So I had a couple that came to mind, but
Hell
I
yeah.
stayed Brown centric. I went to the year 2013, but it is not Josh Gordon. The Browns actually had a tight end that year that led the league in receiving yards for a tight end named Jordan Cameron,
Ooh, yeah, baby.
who had 917 yards and 8 touchdowns, I think it was, getting throws from Jason Campbell, Brandon Whedon, and Brian Hoyer.
Didn't he get
USC
drafted on
product.
accident? Didn't he get drafted on accident
Yeah.
instead of Jordan
Is that
Cameron?
him?
It was Cameron
Yeah.
Jordan was supposed to be drafted, and then never mind. I didn't want to cut you off, but that was just
No,
something
you're
I
good.
thought.
You're good.
Yeah, yeah. Browns, typical
Fourth round
Browns.
pick in 2011. Yeah, like he had almost all of his yards, almost 50% of his career yards and touchdowns came from that one season alone. He had 3 games of over 100 yards plus receiving as a tight end. So, and then when I was looking this up, I also came across another Browns player. This is 2001, so I don't think I'm stealing anybody's thunder here. His name was Anthony Henry. As a rookie, he recorded 10 interceptions. Can you imagine a rookie doing that in today's NFL? Like 10 interceptions in one year. When I saw it, I was like, there's no way I haven't heard of this guy before. No, but deadass, 10 interceptions, and then he had 6 interceptions in 2007, then he's pretty much out of the league. But yeah, 10 interceptions as a rookie.
Can you imagine being that guy telling people at the bar, you know, like, bro, I pulled in 10 interceptions one year for the Browns. Like, I would literally not even double check on Google. I would just be like, hell yeah, bud. You know what I mean? Like, imagine like drinking in Cleveland, you run into a guy like that. Like, all right, sweet. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Tim Couch was an asshole. I'm like, you don't know him. It's okay. That's some good picks. Jordan Cameron's a great pick. I remember him being on Madden was like kind of a cheat code at that time when tight ends started to, everyone's looking for a new Gronk. And he was kind of that new Gronk for just a second. That's a good pick. I like that. Clark, who you got, man? You got Browns player? I feel like you
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, mine's be Muhammad Massaquoi. He was a receiver. He was
Oh,
only with us for
yeah.
about 3 or 4 years. He had a really good game early in his rookie season. Week 4 of his rookie year, had 148 yards on 8 catches. I remember everyone thinking like, holy shit, we finally got a guy at receiver, especially during a time when the Browns did not have much help on the outside. Sadly, he never really panned out too much. But I remember watching after that game, it'd be like week 7. I remember my dad yelling like, "Throw it to that motherfucker! He had 150 yards the week before," and shit like that. So
Where did he go to college?
Georgia, I
Georgia.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Georgia. Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
He's a second round pick. And he actually looks like I'm reading here, he got into like a really bad ATV accident after his playing career.
And you named ATV James Harrison. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, he Dan, he actually had to have 4 fingers amputated. He only has his thumb on his left hand.
Well,
Catch
if there's one finger you want to keep, it's probably that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. He's also like the guy like catch with your palms now. No kidding.
He's gotten really good at one-handed catches.
Man, I didn't know
That's
that
actually
about him.
sad. Yeah, he's a prosthetic hand now.
Did he play for anybody else other than Cleveland?
Nope. He was in and out. The only his rookie contract, it looks like he's out of the league after that.
Yeah, he did two practice squads with the Jags and Jets the same season, got cut from both, and that was it.
In
Within
we
10
think-
days
2009,
apart.
he had 8 catches for 148 yards against a 23-20 overtime loss to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh.
And he had another 100-yard game that year against Detroit as well.
Do we think? I mean, I don't know. Like, my assumption is this is like a casual take, I guess, that James Harrison really fucked him up, didn't he? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was that like was that his last year, or did he play another year after that?
That was his last year. He only played in like 10
Hey.
games his last year too.
Sorry,
Yeah,
everybody.
that's
I
showing.
have a new rig going on right now, not my normal office, so you're gonna hear a cat, and I'm just gonna ignore it. So if you guys hear a cat a
Shocker.
bunch, I'm just gonna ignore it. She's crazy.
You know,
That's a-
I believe that was the same year. I think James Harrison killed like 3 people on the Browns that
Yeah,
season.
Colt McCoy, remember what he did to him?
Yeah,
It
knocked
was
out
slammed
Josh
him.
Cribbs, fucked up Massaquoi. That was that was that one year in the NFL where like Roger Goodell was like, "Damn, we about to have a death. Like this is gonna be bad, bro."
Well, even Mike
like
Tomlin
7
said himself that he thinks that defense was the
Yep.
reason why 2010 they had changed the defensive rules was
Hmm.
because of those guys.
Well, they call it the player safety initiative. I
Yeah.
remember that podcast where he talks
Yep.
about that. Man. Also like that, you just said Colt McCoy, like when you look at the Browns like that and you actually look at the history of the Browns, they didn't do crazy stuff to not be like to be bad. Like they just were bad. Like if you tell me on paper a guy like Colt McCoy with his history in college, he's playing for your team. Masquad was a second-round draft pick. He's running around. Like,
Yeah.
you do what you're supposed to do. It
Yeah,
just
it just
none of
didn't
it
pan
works.
out.
Yeah, like
it's like
none
the
of it.
opposite of now. They're trying to be fucking shitty. That's a good point. I never really thought about
Like,
it
if you really
that
look
way.
at the Browns back then, man, like, even go back to, like, I'll say this name because a lot of kids don't know it. Kel Winslow Jr., and I brought him up before the pod started, so I guess he's in my brain. Like, he was a stud for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the Browns' fault. They had good wide receivers, too. Man, all right, I'm going to start my no-name one. I have to do this first one. I have to. It's not a no-name to us, but I just do it for me and TJ. Dennis Northcutt, always. People don't know who that is. The kids don't know who that is. They'll never know who that is. And honestly, I'm okay if they don't know because the good fans should know. That kid. I'm not just talking a wide receiver either. We're talking legitimate little guy, punt returner, kick returner. Like they didn't make them like that back then. This is before like the rules changed, like we were saying, like little dudes like that. I'm gonna do another one. My favorite player that people don't talk about anymore. Might be not so much no name yet. Maybe in 10 years will be really no name. I'm gonna do Alfred Morris.
I had him written down. And fuck
To
yeah.
me, that is like the pinnacle of you talk about a great season and just being out. Also, we're talking about a player that I genuinely thought was going to have like a Hall of Fame career, especially with RG3 was supposed to be
1,600
there.
yards his rookie year. His
13
rookie year, he had
touchdowns? Yeah, dude.
1,600 yards.
And they were running like old school, like wishbone style option shit back then. Like that was one of my favorite teams to use on Madden back in the day. Like without a doubt, he'd be one of them for one of my favorite players. I was thinking about different Niners that people know or don't know, and to me, I'm just gonna. I think this is probably the best one. I'm gonna do Jason Smith, the Cowboy. People don't really know who that is as a D tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Like people don't know, and like I know it's going around now because Bustin' the Boys talk about him, like how he was fighting motherfuckers, and like I think Julian Edelman's podcast are talking about that too. Like the dude was just ruthless, but like, people don't know that. People did not know that. Honestly, a lot of Niners guys, I was very lucky because all the guys that were considered no-name studs ended up becoming good. Like Frank Gore no one knew who he was, then he ended up being amazing. Alex Smith, the top draft pick, but no one really knew who he was. Then he ended up being amazing. Vernon Davis was technically supposed to be a nobody, ended up being amazing. Walker ended up being amazing. See, that's what I'm saying about the Browns shit. Like, you guys didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't win.
It just didn't pan out. Just didn't
Well,
work.
coaches. It's coaches. We didn't win until
yeah.
we got the coaches. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the coaches, and you got to make sure you don't have Jimmy Haslam. All right, let's do college. Players that were bigger than the program. I'm going to go first because I think it's going to be stolen. I think it's the easiest answer. I'm going to do Colt Brennan, Hawaii. I think that is the definition of bigger than your program. No one's been great at Hawaii since. No one's been amazing like that at Hawaii before or after. Put him on the map. Sold out Honolulu Stadium. Love that motherfucker. He's a big, 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 big one. I think certain teams don't count. This isn't really on topic, but it is on topic. I don't think Boise State players should count at all because Boise State's amazing. Because I think you can kind of lean Genty or Kellen Moore and stuff, but that they have a bunch of guys over the years. I think that program kind of holds its own. And then another one I'm going to do, now it's kind of like, I guess at the time made sense, but I'm going to do Ben Roethlisberger, Miami of Ohio. I think like when people think of Miami, Ohio, it just gives them a lot of clout when they bring up Ben Roethlisberger. Like when you play NCAA and you play as Kent State or Miami and they bring up the NFL pros, that's like Ben Roethlisberger means more than any other Miami player I think that's damn near ever went there. Now, of course, there's a handful in there that did go to the NFL other than Ben Roethlisberger. But I'm going to do Ben Roethlisberger, in the MAC, because I don't think Julian Edelman or James Harrison counts with Kent State because they weren't really big until afterwards. I'm thinking of players that when they left the university, they were bigger than the team when they left. Like they're shit. Also, I'll even throw in a little caveat in here before I pass it on. I think Johnny Manziel counts only because like Texas A&M doesn't do what they're doing now without the money they made when Johnny Manziel popped off. I mean, hell, the dude got a whole fucking stadium built for him. Like literally without him, they don't build that stadium. You know what I'm saying? We all saw the documentary. Like that's why he wanted to make money. Like, he's like, bro, looking around like, bro, y'all making mad bread, and I don't see any of this. Like, that's a problem. Shout out Cam Newton's dad for getting his son paid. I wish more fathers cared. Uh, that's a, you know what I'm saying? Fucking shout out Cam Newton. All right, let's go around the room, man. TJ, man, some players that left college being bigger than the program, or at least when we think of the program, we think of the player more. And I think there's a lot of situations like that. You got any?
Yes, sir. I got one there. To me, there's only one answer. And he was so much bigger than the college program he played for that people don't even remember where he went to college. Sweetness, baby. Walter Payton,
Yup.
Jackson State from 71 to 74. And he was such a huge, he led the nation 3 times in scoring, had a 6 yard, average per carry, like just absolutely ridiculous resume in college. And Jackson State never really capitalized on the success. He was supposed to go to Kansas, and then decided he was committed to Kansas, and then decided he wanted to play with his brother, and his brother played ball at Jackson State, so he ended up staying at the HBCU and going to school not far from where he ended, like where he grew up. So
Yeah.
it was just really interesting, man. You would think with a player like that they would somehow capitalize on the success, but no.
His story is very Larry Bird-esque. I don't know how much you guys know about Larry Bird when he left university to go back to Indiana because of his dad and stuff like that. I think that stuff's not going to die out. I think everyone talks about NIL and shit, but I think there's certain guys, their psyche, like, like us. I mean, I'll throw me and TJ. I know me and TJ were 5-star athletes. We would probably stay closer to home just because of anxiety. Like, no matter what anybody's paying us. Like, I just want to be here. I want to be with, maybe a guy on the team. Like, shout out Walter Payton, dude. I think that era's not done yet. I think you're still going to find cats like him. That's awesome. That's a great pick. I'm mad I didn't even think of that pick because my whole family talks about that shit with Walter Payton. Shout out Sweetness, best running back of all time. Yeah, Jim Brown. I hope you can hear that. All right, let's go forward. I love the camera zoom on Clark. You guys
Yeah,
peep
I don't know
that?
why my camera keeps fucking zooming in
Yeah,
on
it
my
keeps
face
adjusting
real
to you. It's been
close.
cracking
He's
me
got
up, dude.
he's got it on him
There you
and
go. Yeah, I got it.
There you go.
him and his wifey's home video mode right there. That's what that is. Zooming in on the hot spots. Oh man,
yeah.
how you feeling, Eric? What we got for the player that left college that's bigger than the program? You got any?
So I really wanted to do players that like there was an obvious drop off after they left.
Oh, okay,
So
that's good too.
the first player I thought of was David Carr because being a first overall pick from Fresno is pretty fucking crazy. But then I came back so reliable. I'm gonna bring him up in every college football conversation. Dude, it's Cam Newton at Auburn. It just is. I mean, so Tebow's backup goes to JUCO. We know that. I think he was the first Heisman JUCO since 1983. He was the first double transfer Heisman ever, and then obviously his stats for himself. He that one year he outgained 38 other FBS schools that season by himself, and the Auburn went 14-0, win the national title. Is that 2010, right? Pretty sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then Auburn went 8-5 the year after, then 3-9 the year after that, and since then they've only had 2 double-digit win seasons since 2010. In 16 years, they've only had 2 double win seasons.
I saw a stat the other day that they've only one time in school history have won 10 games back-to-back years, and that was in the 80s. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, and that's Auburn, right? They try to claim all these titles too. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
the national title head coach was fired 2 years after going 3-9. He got fired. Like that'd be like in 2 years. Could you imagine Signetti getting fired in 2 years?
I saw a
That
post
would
about
be
that too, where people are
insane.
like talking about how anomaly it was, and I just posted a GIF of Cam Newton. I got like 1,000 likes right away because it's like that's why. Like that motherfucker got paid and got bounced because of Cam Newton. Also, you could say Bo Jackson's on that same list then. You know what I'm saying? Because he really put Auburn on the map. And Bo Jackson, of course, they get 2 of the best athletes probably to ever grace the football field. I'm always game for Cam Newton talk, man. People talk about that fumble too much. He's the best college football player of all time. Yes, I said it loud and proud. I'm not worried about it. Tim Tebow, let's put Tim Tebow on that Auburn team. Yeah, they win 8 games. It's okay. It's okay. They win 8 games.
No team will play as hard as mine.
Maybe Cam is in trouble at Florida, baby. Maybe that's his job, you know?
That's what people would say to me. Well, if Cam was so good, would he start? I'm like, Tim Tebow didn't even start when he first showed up. What's that one cat's name?
Chris
TJ?
Lee.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
he
yes,
he was. That's
Not
an
bad.
underrated player right there. If we did underrated
He
talk,
won a
that's
natty. He won a natty, man. I mean, Tebow helped, but he wasn't too bad.
Yeah, they run
Underrated
that dual
players. We're talking
system.
Cam Newton. How about
No, not Cam Newton
no, no, no,
necessarily.
no, 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 no. I'm saying
Yeah.
Cam Newton adjacent. Let's go Phil Lutzenkirchen, the tight end from those Auburn teams, man. R.I.P. Phil Lutzenkirchen, man. Let me remember my boy, number 43, man.
Oh, the number 2. Yeah, I remember seeing him on especially against I think it was against LSU. He had like a touchdown, and I just remember thinking like, bro, if you wear 40 and you're a tight end, I do not want to tackle you. I want nothing to do with that business. You are mean. You like to block.
Shout out to
Oh, coach,
Harold, baby.
we're
Shout out to
blocking
Harold.
today. Yeah, we're blocking today. Like, okay, yeah, this guy's CTE is just flowing. It's already in his brain. He took out drywall in his house as a 5-year-old. He's got it. It's okay. Oh, that's a good one. We should also do that. Before we get to Clark, I was thinking about what Eric said. I think it would be cool to do a segment of underrated college programs because Fresno State, if people really do their homework, that's a very underrated program. Kind of reminds me of Washington State. You know, if you really know about Washington State, that's thrower you. That's where QBs go to fucking sling 700 yards and lose every game. Like that's what they do. Fresno State, man, shout out. Also, I got a little ADHD flowing through my blood. That's the only thing that makes Reggie Bush overrated. Yeah, let's show his greatest highlight against Fresno State. Wow, that's cool. I'll just say that's not that dope, bro. All right, Clark E, let's go, baby. I'm feeling good today. Clark, yeah, what we got? Player that left college bigger than the program.
Randy Moss at Marshall University. I had trouble really kind of figuring what I wanted to do for this, and I was trying to look at some obscure guys. And then I was like, dude, fucking Randy Moss played at Marshall, and like their first year he played, or the first year there in the MAC, his sophomore season, dude, he fucking had 20, what was it? I just read here, 26 touchdown catches in one season. He was like, I mean, imagine Randy Moss playing in the fucking MAC, dude. He torched NFL teams. So I thought that was a good pick. And then even though he had Chad Pennington, I believe that's his quarterback at the time. And
Yeah, Chet, but yeah, you got him drafted. That's how good he was.
Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. He won MAC Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, he had some. I don't think Marshall's really done much since he's been there, been truthful, or maybe ever. Honestly.
No, I will also shout out to Marshall. I cannot remember his name. This might be another TJ question. Number 12, quarterback, Marshall. He played
Raheem Kano or Cato.
He was like a dog there. That was the last time I remember Marshall being relevant. I think they were winning like 8 games a year at that time. He was like a dog. Not the Marshall team that beat Notre Dame. No, everyone shut the fuck up about that. That didn't even hurt me that bad. I always had a soft spot for Marshall. I don't know what it is. It's the movie. It's the Randy Moss 30 for 30.
I don't know. I remember you saying some shit about the planes, hoping the plane was going to go down.
No, that's my love for Marshall, my hate for Ohio State. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
maybe
we are Marshall.
I can speak to that, Jared.
I know Ohio State fans that legitimately think Coach Day would just fly the plane at that point. Like, dude, shut the fuck.
You're right, Jack. Marshall did have some good seasons. They went 13-1 in 2014.
Yeah, I think he was the quarterback then, I think.
Yeah, it's like Raheem Cato, I think was his name. It's like Cato.
Dog. Straight dog. I like that. I like your call too with Randy Moss. It just made me think. How crazy is it that? Okay, I'll name the 4 of the best wide receivers of all time. You can say whatever order, but if you look at their colleges, like Jerry Rice, Grand Valley, right? Like middle of nowhere. Randy Moss, Marshall. Now Randy Moss was supposed to go to Notre Dame and Florida State. You know, but you all know, like he just got trickled down from there. Actually, at that time, Notre Dame had the chance to have Allen Iverson at quarterback and Randy Moss a wide receiver on the same team. How crazy is that? That was supposed to be their team. Lou Holtz was putting together at that time. That's fucking nuts. Also, Terrell Owens, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Terrell Owens came from middle of nowhere. Randy Moss came from middle of nowhere. And then I'll say even Calvin Johnson, triple option at Georgia Tech. That's amazing, bro. So anybody wants to talk about Jettas? Oh, dude, fuck that fucking name. Actually, I like Justin Jefferson. Sorry you don't have any quarterbacks, bud. It's not my fault, though. That's not my fault. All right, let's move over to the NFL. So we're going to go in some order. Some things we might brush over fast. Some things might have some conversation. But I got to rip the Band-Aid off, get the point of view from the boys. Now that the dust is settled, I wish I would have had like a little interview with Eric the moment this trade went down. Because I think Eric would have said a bunch of stuff he would have regretted. Myles Garrett is out of town, boys. The best, probably arguably one of the best Browns players of all time. We could probably put him on a Mount Rushmore of sorts, most likely, just because of what we witnessed. I'd like to do that question with you guys one day. Your Mount Rushmore, not, I know Jim Brown might not even be on there for some of y'all folks. Shout out Otto Graham, but Myles Garrett's gone. The trade is the trade. You got some players back. You got to figure out a few things. To me, I look at it more from the Niners side. Like, that's why I'm gonna lean on you guys for your thoughts as Browns fans, because all I could think of is what the fuck, dude. Like, how are the Rams getting this good? Like, what are we even talking about? And then, Trent Williams, poor Trent Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm thinking, like, dude, like this is awful. Chris McCaffrey, like, it looks slim right now. He's actually doing like Batman shit. You know how Batman begins when he's out with the monks and shit, fucking training in the middle of the mountains? That's fucking Chris McCaffrey right now. That's how scared we are because Myles Garrett's in town. Myles Garrett's in town. Aaron Donald might come out of retirement. Who fucking knows? TJ, man, what did you think when this first started? And now that the dust has settled, what do you feel? And in all of you, what's your message to Myles Garrett as a fan? Because I think if you guys don't look back and be like, thank you, you're spoiled as fuck. And I will judge. I judge every Browns fan for this because you guys have nothing to cheer for, but as soon as a guy leaves, you're like, we needed it. It's like, okay, yeah, you needed it. Shout out Michael Fitzpatrick's knee injury against Nick Chubb. You guys need all of that. What did you think, TJ? What did you think about Myles Garrett leaving town?
Yeah, so legitimately, when I got the news, I just thought of Eric, and I said Eric is gonna fucking hate this because I saw the return for it for Myles, and I thought of you, Eric, because I knew you and I were going to feel differently because I'm into the mumbo jumbo, I'm into the woo of life, and you're a facts man. The facts of the situation are. And let me just say this. Let me fucking make this as crystal clear as I possibly can for all of you guys and all of our listeners. There is no good thing about trading your best player. I don't think there is any situation in which you trade the best player on your team and you go, this is a net good thing. If you are going to do it, you would want a couple things in return. You would want some picks. You would want a player the quality of Jared Verse. I'm in, like I said, I'm into the woo. I'm into the metaphysical, man. I think it's symbolic, and I think it's good. I think inherently, to move on and to move into a new chapter, I think you got to trim some fat. Now, Myles Garrett by no means was fat, but he, is one of our longest tenured players. And we got rid of him, I think, at the top of his value. I shouldn't say the top of his value. I should say before his value starts to go down, before the age comes.
Last year and this year, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
mean, you just broke the sack record. That you're not getting more from than you just got. I don't
No,
think.
and absolutely not. And I don't. I think it's disingenuous as a Browns fan to act like, yeah, man, it's like Jared Verse, first round pick. Like, this is fantastic. Like. There is no good way to trade your best player, but if you are, I'm a big fan of Jared Verse. I didn't think the value was awful necessarily. It just kind of is what it is, and I really thought I'd be sad about it. Like I really thought it would bum me out and that I would rage. But when I got the notification, I just felt nothing. I just said, yeah, that's kind of is what it is. They're a team that's trying to win now, and we're a team that's going to be trying to rebuild without rebuilding. And I think Jared Verse helps you do that. 2 years left on the rookie deal for Verse. If Myles Garrett is an A+ player, Jared Verse is probably an A- player. So if you're going to get an edge in return that's young and cheap, hopefully, he can bump up the sack numbers a little bit. I'd like to see more like end product from him, but I'm all in on Jared Verse, man. I think you get rid of Myles' contract this year, you get rid of Watson's contract next year, and then we have financial freedom to, like I said, rebuild without rebuilding.
That's the biggest thing, right? Like, that's the only thing that can landlock you in any sport is like when you're a bad team and you got Hall of Fame players. That's so much money. Like I was giving, Eric shit, like being funny with, the Ward stuff because that's going to happen next. Right? Like, because why wouldn't it? Like, I
Well, it
also,
should.
I was
mean,
the
it
same
should.
guy that was yelling, Clark knows, early days of the pod, I told the Browns they need to trade Nick Chubb right away before he got hurt. I know everyone thought I was kind of silly for that, but I'm like, and I don't want to say I look smart now because, Nick Chubb got hurt and shit, but I was like, dude, like this is your value. You don't like you got to do something to get something back, even if you're attached to the guys, and you never know if it's gonna work or not. But also, I think I think people seem to forget, and TJ will back me up on this, that he's technically an outside linebacker hybrid. And I think that will bring new dimensions to that young defense that is really good at tackling already. Where I think your guys' tackling is going to be excellent. And you're not going to be worried about, all right, if we don't get a sack, they're going to go for 5 yards. No, it's like, bro, let them get 2 yards a carry. Let them get 2 yards every fucking play. We might not get the sacks we were getting, but we're getting third down stops. Let's get the fuck off the field. You know what I'm saying? And I think it will help the other players like where they don't know where to block first. I think a lot of people don't think of that. Like when you have a Hall of Fame player on the front line, the whole scheme's already going towards him. Now no one's gonna know your defense this year. Have fun with it. Send blitzes, go crazy. I don't mind it. Some people were comparing it to the Herschel Walker trade, but let me just real quick before I get to Eric. When they traded Herschel Walker, I didn't know this. I knew it was a big deal when they traded Herschel Walker, the Vikings, and that started the Cowboys' like dynasty. Bro, the Vikings gave the Cowboys like
The entire
multiple
draft, I'm pretty sure,
multiple
right?
players,
Yeah.
large number of draft picks, including 3 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders and a third-rounder.
Oh my God, take it all.
To me, that's what y'all should have probably, not in that same realm, of course. Times have changed, but like, give me another first-rounder, dude. Just sprinkle it right in there. I don't care if it's the 32nd pick. You know what I'm saying? Let me have it. What do you think, Eric? Man, Eric at first was a little. I think he was just shell shocked. Is the best.
Oh,
word.
I think it's still stupid as fuck. I think
Let's go.
I think he talked to one team. Like Myles Garrett had a no trade clause, absolutely, but I think he would have been down to go to any team that wasn't the Browns, especially if we talk about like Dallas. If you're Trey Miles, you can fuck off with not wanting to send an AFC team. I could care less about that shit. If Buffalo or KC would have been the highest bidders, do it. I don't think Verse in a first round pick and then fucking a second in 2 years and a third in 3 years is equal value at all. If there would have been another first attached to the deal, I probably would have been happy. Like that's just where I'm landing still. As if it would have been a 2028 first, or let's see even a 2029 first to push it a little bit further down. And then this year's first, I'd have been like, okay, I get it. I just think Verse is good, not great. He needs if he turns into a top 10 pass rusher, which he's not right now, then I think it's all well and good. You made a good trade. But if he only stays at like a good pass rusher that's getting 7.5 sacks like he did last season, then you essentially trade Miles for that and pick 30, 31, 32. And like, so it's all going to hinge on Verse and how good he's going to be. It's just whenever I hear about a pass rusher and the second thing we're talking about is how good he is against the run, like, fuck off. I don't know. Sam Hubbard was good against the run. Nobody wants Sam Hubbard as the fucking edge on their team, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
it's just, I don't, he needs to get sacks. The pressure rate's there on the bright side. The pressure rate is there. Like, he's just got to actually finish the fucking sacks.
And they had a
Like,
full D line last year
and
too.
he gets to the QB. He just misses when he gets there sometimes. So like he needs to develop. I don't really know who he's going to learn from on this team. It's not like we have a vet that's good enough for him to learn from. And it's just like if you want to buy into the Rams saying he was worth 2 first round picks, that's fine. I would have rather had 3 first round picks. Like
Yep.
if the Browns' plan is to compete or be a team that's competing in two years, 32-year-old Myles Garrett is still light years better than 27-year-old Jared Verse. And like that's the thing too is like contract control. You only got one season if we're gonna extend Verse anyway, probably. If everything goes to plan, like that's why I just feel like they only dealt with one team. I feel like they didn't say like, hey, Myles Garrett's open, let's get offers in. Like you know what I mean? Like you're telling me that Cowboy, like someone would have given you 2 first round picks in 2 seconds. Like I just don't value Verse enough for the deal, and it makes me question the whole offseason too, because it's just like you hired a first time head coach to trade away. Like on the bright side of this is I think they're finally accepting where the fuck they need to go. TJ, you just brought up they're trying to rebuild on the fly. That's what they need to stop doing. They just need to embrace it. Hey, suck. And you could do it this year. You have 2 first round picks.
Oh, you have it now,
year.
yeah, with
That's
Watson
what I'm
money.
saying.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just embrace it for a season. Embrace like, hey, we need to be this bad and stop winning these pointless fucking games. And we just need to be this bad, and then figure it out. Like that's because like TJ, you literally said like rebuild without rebuilding, and I feel like that's the world they keep on trying to live in. I feel like that's why we're in this constant fucking loop, especially with Andrew Berry as GM. But I don't know. I'm pumped for Miles. I think that defense is going to be fucking insane, especially if Donald sounds like he's coming back. So I hope Miles balls. Like I was on a work call and like I got off the work call when the news hit because two of my friends called me. Like Andrew, who's been on the podcast
Yeah.
before, he called me. He's like, "Dude, you see it?" I'm like, I literally told Andrew like there better be another first attached to that bitch because as soon as that was my first reaction as soon as I saw it. But
'Cause you're
yeah, I
not
mean,
concerned.
I
You're
don't
not
blame
concerned about the
them.
loss. You're concerned about the return. You're like, yo, like if we got to get
Yeah,
rid of him, fine. But like,
I
let's
just
do
think
it for
if
the
you would
right
have had
reason.
open market bidding on him, you would have got a better offer than this. Why did you only talk to like you said the Rams called you what in like April or some shit to talk about it, and that was the only team you talked for a month or 2 months was the Rams. Like you tell me you didn't call like the Bills, the Chiefs, the Cowboys. And you if you don't want to trade him to the AFC, I get it. Not really, but whatever. Like and I don't know why it happened so quick. We said, hey, the Browns are kind of open to trading Miles, and then it happened 12 hours later. It's like, dude, it just seems like there was no bidding war. Because if there
Yeah.
was, I think you would have got a better return.
And also like you're saying that from the angle of I was kind of confused why there's no bidding war if the head coach was there for a little while and he never even met the motherfucker. Like so if you already kind of it felt like to me the crumbs were already there that you're gonna do something with him. Well, if the crumbs are already there, why don't we just fucking open the book and just let him have a heyday and see? I mean, of course, he would want to go to the Rams if he had a choice. I don't see many other teams that way he would. I mean, he would
But
go to other places, of course, and with the lack of trade clause, like you said. But it's like
this isn't the NBA still. You don't get to pick. Like
no, yeah, yeah,
we'll be like, hey, we're down to four teams we like, whichever one has the best offer you're gonna go to. Like when has it not worked like that in the NFL? They don't always good. They don't. It's not the NBA
yeah,
where you go to your preferred destination. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that's not this.
I would have gave you guys CMC and Boza. I would have
Yeah, and I would have
with
said
with
no.
with the first round. Yeah, but it'd been. But no, I
CMC.
don't care. It would have been better than verse.
No,
I don't give a fuck. It would have been better than what you got. I don't care. It would have been better. And a
I
first
would have
round. Here
done
you
it for
go.
two firsts and 2 seconds,
I
Jack.
ain't
You don't
giving.
even
I
need to
ain't.
give me a player.
No, I'm giving you.
I don't need 31-year old
No, I'm not
CMC.
talking to you. I'm talking to Haslam. I'm talking to Andrew Barry. I'm talking to those dumb fucks. I'm fucking passing out some shit to them boys. Because that's what happened. LA Rams, man, they just are so slick. It's kind of like when they invited Matt Stafford over undercover and shit behind Goff's back. And
Oh, that trade's a steal for them. That trade's a
like
steal
they
for them,
just they
dude.
just knew exactly what it's just how they got Stafford. They
And
just
then the
kind of
Simpson pick
slithered.
makes even more sense. The Simpson pick makes even more sense if
And they
they
still
thought that.
gave Stafford extra money too to make sure
Yeah.
he's good. Like, dude, you know what? All I hope for is, hey, I don't hope for injuries, Garrett, but I got a feeling this ain't gonna work out the way you wanted it to, bud, and I'm gonna be okay with that. I'm gonna be okay. I hope you have 10 sacks in 5 games, and you're like, oh my god, Achilles, oh, cool, dope, you're out. That was cool. The experiment's over. Go Niners. Seattle's gonna suck. That's my new saying. The Rams ain't gonna suck, so I'm just gonna keep saying Seattle's gonna suck over and over again, and just hope that I believe it. Can't wait for the 9-8 wild card. Clark, man, you've been very, very skeptical of Sir Garrett. You have over the years. I think Miles kind of grew on you last year a little bit. Of course, there wasn't a lot to grow on, but you matured a little bit last year, liking the Browns a little bit. You kind of just grabbed onto what was good and what was bad. If the Browns play with the same quality of play they've been playing with, and they don't have the sacks to make it look good, that's going to be tough football to watch every Sunday. What do you think, Clark? What do you think about all this? And looking back on the whole Myles Garrett thing as a whole, because I know you've been tougher on him than most.
They went from 5 wins to 4 this season. It doesn't really fucking matter, truthfully. And offense is dog shit. So what? We don't get some fucking sacks. He showed up 3 games out of the year anyway, where 80% of his sacks we want to play like a Hall of Famer, then he would crash his car and disappear for the other half. So I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. I think Versailles could be an interesting player, how the fuck you say his name. I think he's a good run defender. Like you said, it'd be really nice in third and short situations. And I talk about that outside linebacker hybrid. Good young defense. We'll see what they got, man. Who the fuck knows? We have no idea what's going to happen this season with the new head coach. Who knows what happened with the quarterbacks? Got the rookie receivers. It's all a big question mark. It's all a big fucking guessing game. It is in itself. Between the offseason, all of it. So, like I said, I think they go from 5 wins to 4, possibly even 3. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Everyone keeps saying they have the easiest schedule. They're still one of the shittiest teams. What the fuck does an easy schedule matter if everyone's better than you? What the fuck does it matter, dog? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of
And
over it, to be honest. I don't give a fuck. I'll probably end up watching the first 5 games, and then by week 6, I'll be falling asleep in the cold November afternoons on Sundays and miss half of it anyway. So,
for the people listening, I'll do a little background noise on this. There's also I know Clark. If it helps that Notre Dame's gonna be pretty damn good. There's other
oh
things
yeah,
to focus on. You can
oh
easily
yeah,
just like pass it off,
yeah. Fuck
not
them.
put your energy into it. And try to enjoy it for what it is. The Browns, man. To me, I'm with TJ of like and Eric of like let's just rebuild. Let's if we're gonna do this shit, let's just do it. Let's ride out who we have. Let's keep getting good rookie classes and just keep trying and just try not to do any splash stuff. And that's kind of what I think happened with the Myles Garrett thing, which is so Browns. Browns like to avoid media when it's actually not what they're supposed to avoid. Like they'll be big in the media because of a dumb decision they make, and then make it all fucking dramatic. But then you have one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in the NFL ready to be traded, and you want to be hush hush now. That makes no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Like on the grand stage of the draft, you're willing to draft 3 quarterbacks in one draft type shit, but you're not willing to be like, hey, our best player wants to leave. No, this time Andrew Berry probably talked to Haslam, was like, let's be quiet so people don't know. It's like, why? Like that didn't make any fucking. But you know what? Shout out to the Browns. I got hope for y'all. I think Watson's going to ball out and he's still going to leave, which is perfect. I think it's going to work out for you guys one way or the other. I also think that division's going to be buns. I don't care. I don't believe in the Ravens anymore. I'm going to be riding with the Steelers. You guys are going to hate me this year. I'm Mike McCarthy all the way through. I don't know if you guys saw, hey, numbers are the language of the universe, Mike McCarthy says. Numbers are the language of the universe. I love that motherfucker. Let's move forward a little bit. This is a little bit more my neck of the woods. Have you guys seen Ayuk is starting to get wild again?
Yeah.
Uh, as a Niners fan, I hope the best for him. I do. I see why he wants to go Washington. I really do. I mean, he's friends with Jane Daniels. I also see that. I know that Samuels had other wide, like we had a couple Niners players that are there, and I know that he had good relationships with them. So maybe he just needs to be around guys he wants to be around. I will say though that for anybody out there, his talent does not match his mouth. Oh, he was such a talented player. I still didn't. He was very fast, and he could catch a long ball. Couldn't catch in traffic. I hated when we paid him in the first place. It had nothing to do with his attitude either. I didn't even know he was crazy yet. I think sometimes, remember John Ross who ran like that 40 during the draft?
Yeah.
I think sometimes people just like speed and they think it's like, oh, that's Tyreek. It's like, well, just because he's fast like Tyreek doesn't really mean that's Tyreek right there, you know? So, I mean, shout out to him. I hope that works out. I do. But also, it's like, I don't know, bud. I don't think you need to get hit in the head anymore. I just don't. I don't know what's wrong with you and what's going on, but it's not good. And then like, I also say that because I watch a lot of George Kittle's podcasts and stuff, and they've talked about him, and he's just sad. He's like, and that's how you know it's bad. Like the other players are like, we don't even know how to reach out to him. We've tried. Shout out to Brandon Ayuk. And if he does go somewhere, I mean, go somewhere with a quarterback, bud. He might be a stud. I'd like to see him somewhere like Buffalo or some shit. Fuck it. Fucking go crazy. More free agency stuff. I thought this was just funny. Stephon Diggs always being investigated and shit. I think it's funny that you can get on a yacht, do drugs on camera, get crazy with bitches, and they're like, and this is why I love the NFL. They're like, you know what? That's fine. Sorsby, get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Oh, dude, it's like the James Pierce shit right now. There's a video of him beating his fucking girlfriend on camera. He's gonna get like a 4-game suspension probably because they settled it in court. You know what I mean? That's like, but
And
the Diggs thing's kind of like, can you? Oh, I'm so. It's like I can't believe no one signed him. It's like I kind of can. I feel like that dude all season's hard as fuck.
Oh, dude, like even when he was like, to me, I wish he would have made it work in Buffalo because guys like that just stay in one place. Wide receivers, like you just don't need to be. No one wants you after a while. Like you ain't the only fast buck. There's gonna be another young cat that gets drafted that runs faster than you. What can you do?
Think about it though. Like if you're any, NFL coach and you're sitting up in your office, and you got your clipboard full of guys that are still left as free agents, and you're like, Stephon Diggs is still available. Can you imagine throwing Stephon Diggs to any locker room or saying like, oh yeah, sure, there's room for him. Like absolutely nothing could be wrong. He's going to catch fucking 7 touchdowns this season. Hey, let's throw him in the mix and see what happens. If anything, like Diggs might corrupt one of the guys that doesn't do that shit.
Especially a young
Like,
quarterback. Especially a young
fuck yeah.
quarterback.
I mean,
Like Drake
you want to
May, like that just sounds like if they did that again, it just sounds like it's not what
Fuck
he
yeah.
Yeah.
needs, you know what I mean? Is some crazy ass event you gotta worry about every time he
when you
leaves
know
the team
like
for a little bit.
they say it in every sport, like, oh, he's a locker room cancer. He's a locker room cancer. Like 90% of the time, people exaggerate. Stephon Diggs, though, oh my God, it's like not only is he crazy off the field, he's a diva on the field. He's got his famous baby mama on the field and shit after the games. It's
I
like,
love it.
dude, we can't be doing this, bro. Like because there's guys that will do it and not do all that shit. It's like, bro, you aren't fucking Jamar Chase anymore, bro. You're getting old. The miracle in Minneapolis was years ago, bro. Like,
I
come
was
on,
too.
Bro,
man.
there's guys that will do that and not do all that shit. That was so fucking funny.
But we're saying that as a Niners fan, come on home, baby. We got vets. We
Oh
got
hell yeah,
culture.
bring him in, dude. That
We're
is
gonna put you
awesome.
right in between Mormon Fred Warner and Trent Williams, and you ain't gonna act up at all. You're gonna sit right there. You're gonna be a good boy. Trent's gonna help you with your street shit, and Fred's gonna help you with your spiritual shit, and it's gonna be a blast. And you're gonna vibe out. Brock Purdy ain't gonna care. We dealt with Jennings. I wish Jennings was still here, and he was trying to fight motherfuckers on the team. He was trying to fight coaches. Bring him on home. Come on.
Man, that'd be like do-rag LeBron. You know how everybody talks about do-rag LeBron? It'd be
Yeah.
Mormon convert Stephon Diggs, and he
I
go for
love it.
1,400 yards, bro.
That's fine. Grows his hair out too. It'd be great, bro. Just fucking go crazy, bro. You bring Cardi B into the locker room. We'll let you. It'll be awesome. It'll be good PR. People can go crazy. Brock gets to meet her. How cool would that be? Man, shout out. Speaking of all that crazy shit, we got a lot of extensions going on. This is when everyone starts worried about extensions, extending people. I only brought up one player because I thought it was interesting because also it's popping up everywhere when you look into it. People like, where do you guys stand? Like TJ, where do you stand on someone like a Dak Prescott? He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He always is, but there's no winning that comes after it. You've dealt with him for years. Are teams too quick to extend? Now the Cowboys aren't. They don't want to give you the money, but like to me, there's not enough balance with this. Either people are extended right away, and then they end up getting fucking fired, and then they get all the money. Almost like Kyler Murray-esque, where like they just get all the money, get out of here. We're gonna pay you anyways. And then there's other guys where it's like that fine line, like Dak Prescott, where like he could be good for a couple of more years, but he hasn't won yet. So if you pay him and he's not good for a couple more years, I don't know. Like I was thinking of you, TJ and Eric. I'll go TJ first and Eric. Like, where are you guys at on extending people? Like, should it just happen right away to keep stability, or should teams be a little bit more fluid about it, like they are with everything else, like draft picks and such?
Well, I mean, let's use your example of Dak. It's like, could you is he a top 5 quarterback? Like when you think of NFL quarterbacks, do you think at the pinnacle, do you think Dak Prescott?
The sad part is statistically, yes. My mind and heart, no.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
If that
saying.
makes, yeah,
My
yeah.
mind and heart, I would also say no. I think it's Josh Allen, it's Burrow, it's like these guys. Um, I believe that top players should make top player money. So if you're if you produce top 5 stats, like a guy like Jamar Chase, who for 5 seasons has been at the top, he deserves top 5 player money. He deserves an extension that matches his performance. When you see a guy like Dak, though, I don't believe in paying him top 3 quarterback money just because he's been there. He might be a top 8 quarterback, but
Yeah,
you're
like
going to pay
tenure.
him.
It's almost like union shit, like tenure. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
or like teachers, where
Hmm.
every year you teach in a school district, your pay goes up 75 cents an hour. It's where it's like I don't know if I believe it. I look, at the end of the day, I want players to get paid. Period. I want all the players to make their money. They're fucking their bodies up. They're fucking their minds up, possibly. Rob these fucking billionaires of all the money you can. Smash and grab that shit. But at the end of the day, I think pay has to match value. And I just don't believe in like some of these guys getting massive fucking extensions when, they aren't massive players. The top is the top for a reason.
That's why I thought he was probably the best example because you're riding that fine line of like deserving, earned, I think it'd be two different things. What do you think, Eric, when it comes to extending players, especially vets, and an important quarterback?
Yeah.
And we're talking about quarterback here,
Yeah.
that's
So
one
it's
of the
all, yeah.
that's like a
Quarterback
guaranteed
changes it.
extension.
It changes everything that he's being a quarterback too, especially because I mean, let's call a buck too. If Dak doesn't have the injury history he has, we all say it's a no-brainer extension probably. But he does have that injury history. But I also look at this a little bit differently because of it's a salary cap thing. It's not a year-to-year thing.
Yep.
So like Mahomes just adjusted his contract for I think like the fourth time in the 3 years he's been to get from that pay bump like that. And if the cap's gone up 30 million in the last 2 years, just to give you an idea. So let's say, and it's expected to jump more. So let's say it goes up 40 million over the next 2 years. Dak by that time might be because then you'll have probably Drake May's contract setting in, Jay and Daniel's contract setting in. Dak might be the highest paid quarterback for a year if you extend him, maybe two. But if it's still accounts for the same, that like I don't know, I'm trying to think of a high paid quarterback right now. That's like kind of Dak's level. Like Baker wants an extension, but Baker's not on Dak's
See,
level.
Baker is my next example of like the other side of the coin, where it's like
Yeah.
he ain't going to get the max money, but the quarterback market is kind of slim. Quarterbacks suck now, so
Well, yeah, and
it's kind of like committing to the guy that can at least get you to the
it's
finish
like
line.
who's more likely to move on from their quarterback, the Bucks or the Cowboys? We'd all say the Bucks. Like it's a lot harder to replace Dak
I would say that too.
unless Dak has some crazy injury this season, and obviously none of us are rooting for that. I'm just saying it's a lot harder to like because when he's healthy, he is elite. He is an elite quarterback. Like if he's not top five, he's top what, eight? Like
Yeah.
I think he's in the top 10 easily.
Yeah.
And it's I mean even last year he was probably an MVP candidate
Statistically, yeah.
if he has a defense that has a pulse.
Yeah.
That defense was so bad last year that so I don't know. Dak's a good one because it's an injury thing, and it's like he's right on the cusp of probably he is an elite quarterback. I think he's better than good, but with the cap jumping, I just would, as a Cowboys fan, I'd just pay him,
Yeah.
especially because they clearly after they made these moves, they clearly want to win. Like he's 28, so it's probably 28, 29. This is
He
probably
might.
going to be his last huge deal in the NFL.
I'm trying to see. I don't remember how old he is. I feel like
At
he's a
least
little
like
older
when
than
we're
that.
talking like number one quarterback money, this would be the last time he'd get it probably.
Unless he
Um,
finally wins, and I don't know if that team's
Well,
gonna win.
I
he's 32. Okay, so yeah, this is
Yeah,
definitely his last
yeah,
big contract for maybe 4 year
yep.
extension and make him. But that's in 2 years he probably wouldn't be top five paid in 2 more years. That's the thing. I just look at it differently. I understand
Yeah.
what you guys are saying. Like
No, yeah, that's why I want to pick
he's
brains
the,
of this
he's the
stuff.
eighth best quarterback. He shouldn't get number one money, but it's also like that's kind of the way the NFL goes. Whoever gets paid first kind of it ends up the loser in 3 years because salary cap
Yeah,
jumps.
look at Pat Mahomes, like you said. Everyone was gawking over his contract, and then they start doing the
Mhm.
numbers of the salary cap stuff. They're like, oh, he kind of got robbed, and no one knows that yet. You know what I mean? Before I get to Clark with this next question, TJ, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add real quick that when you brought up extensions, I didn't think of Dak. I thought of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence,
Mhm.
his extension is for $200 million guaranteed. He signed like a 5 or 6 year extension. And I just think he's a good example too of a guy where you're like, could you replace him? Almost definitely not with someone as
That's what I
good
say
as
the
him or
guarantee. Like,
better.
there's no guarantee with it.
Yeah, but it's like, should you be paying him $55 million a year? Also, probably not. So at what point is the juice worth the squeeze of like, okay, I'm willing to give him 55 fucking $1 million a year, for what he does.
I think also it's like GMs want to do the gymnastics once they know certain players are in place. Like I think some GMs are like, "Yo, throw the money at this guy because we once I know the quarterback's crossed off and certain positions are crossed off, I can work with what we got to build after that." Like, and I think that's where quarterback becomes a unique place. Like Trevor Lawrence, is a great example where it's like you're battling with: do we roll the dice or do we just go with the guarantee and
You
just
know it's
worry about what we have left?
what's crazy is Trevor Lawrence got the same money as Jordan Love. Jordan Love technically has more total value in his contract than Trevor Lawrence. And I don't have a hot take about that.
I think those two are
I'm just
very
looking at the
similar though
highest
in my
paid
brain.
quarterbacks right now.
Those
Yeah, I
two are
think
very.
I was going to be a different story if Trevor Lawrence was the number one overall pick. I think
I
that
think
changes
yeah, I think
everything because you invested so much
Trevor
in
Lawrence
him.
goes to the Packers. They win in some games. You
Well,
know what I'm
and I
saying?
think you
Like
invested so much in Trevor Lawrence that the Jags are like, hey, like even if we think he is, it's kind of it's kind of like it's kind of like the Saints would show this year. It's like, hey,
yeah,
we kind of invested a premium pick, so we kind of got to see this through. Whereas like the Browns with Shadur Sanders, It's like, hey, he's a fifth round pick. He doesn't really warrant this treatment. Where Show like played decent enough. They're like, okay, that I'm sorry, that was really random. I was just looking up the
No,
top
yeah.
paid, and for reference, Dak is the second highest paid on average per year. I think the problem is his deal is probably about to be up. That's probably what the problem is. And
Yep.
Mahomes is obviously one, and then Josh Allen is in between Prescott, or Josh Allen is right below Burrow, who's right below Prescott.
I think Burrow's the only one that's kind of overpaid, just injuries. I think
Hmm.
it's hard to account for that. But you're telling me that he's more valuable than Lamar? That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like in my brain, it's just, nothing's equal. Speaking of that, I'm gonna go pick Clark's brain because Clark kind of thinks a lot like me when it comes to this. Say Baker situation. I think sometimes teams and fans think grass is always greener without knowing what's actually going on. If I'm the Bucks, and I know we can say, oh, would the Bucks give up Baker, blah blah, but it's like, bro, like, are you look me dead in the eye and tell me you're gonna find someone better than Baker? You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes teams always think, oh, if we just make this change, we're great again. I'm like, well, to me, you're only great if Baker plays great. If
Yeah.
Baker ain't there, we saw it last year. When Baker's there, he's an MVP caliber player. When he got injured, the team was kind of buns and couldn't do anything other than beating the shit out of my fucking Niners. That apparently was a shocker to me. But especially the way me and you think of fandom and way me and you think of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think me and you are kind of on the side of being more conservative about that. Like, I think if you're the Bucks and you have someone like a Baker, don't even fucking play now. With the NFL draft's gonna be crazy next year. You play in the shittiest division. You probably ain't gonna draft that high.
No.
You're still gonna be in the 13th, 14th
Yeah,
range
they'll
if your team's
be maybe
healthy.
even higher.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be in that middle teens place, and we've already kind of seen it with this story with Baker, right? The grass is always greener. Browns fucking let him go, and now they would fucking kill to have a quarterback like that. I think you and I are in the same mindset because I think a lot of teams try to tell themselves they're closer to being great than they really are, right? They try to rationalize, maybe if we get a quarterback that maybe throws another 5 touchdowns and 3 less interceptions this season, we could make it. Teams like the Bucks are a lot more away than maybe a little bit better quarterback play than winning the Super Bowl, and good quarterbacks are hard to come by nowadays. I know Baker has a tendency sometimes to start hot throughout the season and get beat up because he plays too hard, but damn, dude, how do you fucking let a guy like that walk away to risk what? Maybe draft a guy in a so-called great class, which every year they always hype these classes up, and then half the quarterbacks play like dog shit. Like I don't know. I'm keeping Baker.
We're also talking about the same team that had a 30, and I understand he had 30 interceptions. It's my favorite year of all time, Jameis
Yeah.
Winston. That's my favorite. Like, that is the most. Listen to me. I have
Mike
the Zoom.
Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
But that is the most real Madden stat of it. 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns.
I want
Let's
to
get
see it
after
happen
it.
again so bad. I
Dude,
wanna
like,
see it
let him
happen again
rip.
so
Let him go to
bad.
his shit team. Let him rip. But also, they gave that situation up to have someone like a Tom Brady or be able to open up their
Mhm.
doors to a vet. I think teams in Florida are kind of like, they're nicer to, like, vets want to play down there. The money's better, taxes are better, the weather's better.
Their
Shit
joints
like,
hurt in the cold.
yeah, like shit,
You
yeah,
know?
shit's just a little bit different. Um, but yeah, like, some guys. Now let me change pace a little bit of the all season talk. I kind of curated this the perfect way because we could go all day about all season, but I'm trying to go more obscure and specific. I'll start with Clark this time so I get to hear his voice again. Now, I wrote down, like, to me, these players are kind of unprecedented right now in today's modern era. Bijan Robinson and Jameer Gibbs. We're talking about players that bring value to the passing game, receiving game, touchdowns overall, the most scrimmage yards by far out of any of the players. Very CMC esque, per se. Now, CMC got saved with the Niners, and the rest of his career was written up for him. I think his career would have been more complicated if the Panthers didn't make that decision for him. You know what I'm saying? But with these guys, I think people are saying, oh, Bijan and Jameer should just automatically sign their big extension, whatever. I think that players like this kind of have the same type of value almost as a quarterback can have. Now, it's not the same, but when you are a dual threat in that situation, I think that's unprecedented in the aspect of making money, and you shouldn't just settle for what you got. What do you think about players like a Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, Clark, where, like, you're kind of at, now, Lions are pretty good. If I'm Jameer Gibbs, it's a little more easier, right? Like, they're planning to build around you. They got Pacheco to be right behind you as a backup. Same thing with Montgomery. It's very kind of easy to see that the front office is kind of lean on you. Goff's going to get a little older, so that means they're going to lean on you even more. But Bijan Robinson, bro, if I'm him, why the fuck would I stay around in this situation? Also, like the money could be insane. You can go to a shit team. Fuck even being with a good team or a bad team, whatever. You just make money. What do you think players like that should do, Clark, or look at that? Like, should they just stay loyal? I guess is my question. So everyone likes loyalty. To me, I think loyalty is kind of blown out proportion in the NFL. If you're talking NBA and stuff, I can see it. Yeah.
Because
But
NBA,
like,
you can make more if you stay with your team.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
and like,
As soon
and
as you
you,
brought up the
yeah,
max thing, like I thought about the NBA. You can get paid the most if you
yep.
stay with the team you're currently
Yep,
with.
you get
That's
paid
what.
the most. They build around you a little
Yep.
easier. It's only
Sorry,
five
you just
guys
made
on
me
the
think of
court.
that
No,
as
that's
soon as you
perfect.
said
No, don't
NBA.
be sorry. That's perfect. But like, I think like in this situation, like I don't know. I think guys like Bijan should be saved out of this situation and go somewhere else. But what do you think when it comes to like these dual threat guys and what their worth is, Clark? Because I know you like these type of guys like I do.
Yeah, like you and I are both a big fan of the game breakers, right? It's kind of how I model them in my head, guys that can really blow a game open. And Jameer's got a great season ahead of him. He's gonna be the true bell cow, and even when he gets tired, you can have Pacheco come in there and run the ball. The team's really, in my mind, offensively going to be. I know they have a great offense all around, but he's gonna be the true focal point, right? Because he can play the receiving game and the rushing game. But someone like Robinson, though, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Stefanski utilizes him because if he can be used correctly, I think really the sky's the limit for him. He was unreal in college. I think he's gonna have a really great year. I'm putting some money on him for offensive player of the year, truthfully, man. I think he can really get it the way Stefanski utilizes his running backs. But if I'm him, I guess it really comes down to what the player's personal goal is, right? Are you in this for money or are you in it to win championships? I think someone like Gibbs has a way better chance of winning a championship right now, the way the team's set up, than Robinson. So if Robinson, says, fuck it, I just want to go make some money, somebody will throw that dude a fucking bag. Like he is going to make both
And
of
we're
them.
talking running backs now, where the life
Yeah,
expectancy is like this
yeah.
big compared to the rest of them.
And they both have been fairly healthy from my memory. I can't remember
For
exactly.
their usage,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe a young team that's up and coming, like they need a fucking, like, here's a team I can think of. Like, I know the Patriots have had Henderson, but imagine if they had someone like that on that team. Now they got A.J. Brown, you got an up and coming great quarterback, and said, fuck it, I'm throwing all this money at a Gibbs. Or, like, I think that's a player that can really transform a team and push them to the top. So it'll be really interesting. I think they're going to command a fuck ton of money in the free market if they
And
hit it.
my other example with that is like Kenneth Walker just won the Super Bowl MVP
Yeah.
and just went to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I think, and it kind of comes out of the Myles Garrett conversation, right? Where like you kind of get bailed out to go play in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
And I think running backs shouldn't wait until their last leg. Like
No.
I always think of like the McCoy, like LaShawn McCoy's, where
Yeah.
like he won a Super Bowl, but no one really knows that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like no one ever thinks of that. Like, and now he did have great years with the Eagles, but that team was Sam Bradford. You know what I'm saying? That team was buns. I think running backs should go team hungry with the money, just because the success will bring more money on top of it. And I think as a running back, your contracts are probably way tighter than most positions because injuries can happen.
Oh yeah, I got it pulled up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
well, like Eric, you're a big contract guy, and you're also a big free agency guy when it comes to this stuff. And running backs, we all understand that running backs are they're very rare, and their lifespan's very rare. What do you think someone like a Bijan Robinson's worth to like the market? And should they just extend or should they just ride it out? Because I think there's the flip side of if I'm a running back, there's also an urge to extend because you don't know what's going to happen to your body.
Mm-hmm.
But
guaranteed money.
But at the same time,
money, yeah.
you're playing for the Falcons. I think that's why that example sticks out because I just don't see anything great happening for them for a while. I just don't see it.
So this is where the first, both of them being first round picks, is where it comes in, because technically they can get tagged twice. So even though Bijan on paper is a free agent in 2028, the team can franchise tag him without his option. They can just do it till 2029, and at that point he'd be 28
and still get paid league most.
Yeah, so
like
it's just
match
like
it.
in like contract wise, like I brought like Brees Hall came to mind because Brees Hall is kind of like those guys, but he's light. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like he's not on their level, but he's kind of has the dual threat thing that we were
Yeah.
just
He
talking
also
about.
plays for the Jets of all teams. Yeah.
And he is now a top 5 paid running back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Brees Hall is the 5th highest paid running back. The highest right now, Saquon at 20.6 and CMC at 19. So
Yeah.
both these guys are going to break those deals, and I feel like the age is going to tell them like hey, you're 20, you're going to be 25 when you sign an extension. They'll probably sign it next year, both of them. And the winner will be who signs it second, obviously. You know what I mean? That would be
Yeah.
the winner because they're going to be compared to each other, obviously, but that's what their agent's going to tell them is like, hey, they're giving you a 5-year deal. This will get you through your 30-year old season, like at this deal. So that's why it's so hard to hit free agency in the NFL, man. On a first contract. On
Yeah.
a first
It's hard
contract.
for the player to get that option.
Especially a first round pick. I mean, what was Bajan was 7th overall?
Yep.
And I think what was
I was
Gibbs?
thinking, you ever remember that play
Was
at
Gibbs?
Texas where
I
he
don't
had his
remember what
back
pick.
broken, bro?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like
He was a
I
stud.
don't know. And that's the thing. They both deserve probably to be running back one when that contract comes around. Especially with Saquon and CMC, you can kind of see them slowing down at this point, or maybe not even play wise, maybe just carries wise. Like they
Oh
just
yeah.
take the load off of them a little bit to make them last longer.
Yeah.
But definitely something to watch. I mean, I don't think they can't really hold out anymore, and you can thank the
I just think
NFLPA
those
for
type of
that.
running
But
backs have like a different value than the old school ones. Like, you know what I mean?
mhm.
Like Derrick Henry's a standalone, and then what he did and accomplished and the money he was trying to get, like that's a standalone. You don't see those anymore. Most time guys like that were like Mark Ingrams. Like they became lifelong pros, but they shared carries, they went with good backfields, they did what they had to do. Um, TJ, man, you love weapons, and you love unicorns, and these guys are some unicorns. Um, do you think we'll see more running backs like this, or are we just kind of seeing like our own unicorns right now? Because the way I see it is look at Jeremiah Love. That's another version of these guys that people are trying to get after.
He has
Jeremiah
$20
Love's the
million
real
dollars
most
more.
paid,
He has $20 million more guaranteed than Saquon Barkley, who's the next closest.
and he grew out a fucking beard. Let's
His
go.
average per year puts him right under Jonathan Taylor,
I
and
fucking
that's ninth
I
in the
love it.
NFL.
I love it. Yeah, dude. He just posted
Love
a
me.
yeah. He just posted a picture today. Dude grew a fucking beard out, bro. I'm like, he's ready. He got the beard going,
Ari's
dude.
depressed, dude. He saw Carson Beck at campus and nah, fuck this shit, dog. Jacoby ain't even there yet.
That team was hope. That team was hoping Sorsby was going to be allowed. That was the one team. We'll get to
My bad,
Sorsby in a
TJ. I
second.
didn't mean to jump in
No,
your
you're
spot,
good. We're
man.
just chit chatting before we move on to more of the specific stuff. TJ, man, those type of weapons, man. Do you think they should be valued differently or just held on to as a unicorn? Or are we going to see more guys like this? I mean, I think Missouri's running back is probably the best running back in college football this next year, other than Lacey with Ole Miss. I see those two are probably 1 and 2. But they're also like, to me, it's still Lacey's a little different. He can do a little bit of both, but they're old school running backs in a certain sense. I guess you could say Barkley was an old school running back in a certain sense. But I don't know. I just think guys like this we haven't seen guys like this since LaDainian Tomlinson almost. You know what I'm saying? And I just think guys like this should be valued differently. What do you think about a young Bijan? Say they don't tag him or say it gets real complicated. What do you think someone like that should do?
So I got two things for you, man. First of all, these guys that are weapons, like that you say are just game breakers. Throughout NFL history, the goalposts, no pun intended, have been moved for positional players all the time. So in the NFL right now, think of a one purely immobile quarterback. Like a quarterback that is just completely shit out of luck, that cannot move even out of the pocket a little bit. When we were kids, that was a fairly standard thing,
Mhm.
that quarterbacks were fucking immobile. Well, at a certain point, the game changed. You introduced the Mike Vicks and the Culpeppers into the game, and now there's 5 or 6 teams with a mobile quarterback. Every single team now needs a quarterback that can get outside the pocket. So the ask for an NFL quarterback changed. And I think guys like Gibbs, guys like Bijan are going to move the goalposts for all NFL running backs, where you aren't going to be able to be a brick-handed running back anymore. Every single player is going to need game-breaking speed. Every single player is going to need to run routes out of the backfield, because you see guys like McCaffrey who start that, and then you see guys like Bijan and like Jahmyr Gibbs that can keep that going. So where now all the NFL teams are like, fuck, we're missing out. If you have like a Genti, for example, to me is a one-dimensional running back. He's a brick-handed guy out of the backfield. He's not going to run a lot of routes. He's not going to catch a lot of balls. How many more guys like that are you going to see? Because you're going to have these NFL teams saying, fuck, man, we're missing out on a whole part of offensive football that we can't tap into. So there's that. And then the second thing, I just wanted to tell you guys a quick anecdote, man, and I think it applies. You're talking a two-way player, a guy that can affect multiple points of the game. Let's talk Deion Sanders. So Deion Sanders in 1995 won a Super Bowl with the 49ers, right? So he plays out his entire rookie contract in Atlanta. He takes a one-year deal with San Fran and wins the Super Bowl. His next contract in 96 is a 7-year, $35 million contract. He's then made the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. In 1996, the next year, he starts also playing receiver. So you're now looking at, so to put that deal in perspective for you, not only he was the highest paid defensive player in the NFL, $35 million was the total salary cap in 1995 for an NFL team. So the Cowboys took Deion and decided, we're going to commit an entire year's worth of salary cap to just signing your 7-year contract. So you look at how a player like that can be recognized by ownership and go, he ain't fucking going anywhere. Like, this is our guy forever. We're pinning our, we're hitching our, our trailer to this guy, and he's taking us to the fucking moon. So I think you could see that with a Bijan, perhaps with a Gibbs if they hit the open market, where a team could go, look, man, this guy's fucking 27 years old. Deion was 27 when he signed with the Cowboys. You might see a team go, fuck it, pay whatever they want. Sell the fucking farm, and get a player that we know can change everything.
I wish franchise tags weren't a thing.
Yeah, they're kind of fucking scummy.
It's total bullshit. It's
Like-
total bullshit.
It would add so much spice. It would add more conversations in the
It
offseason.
balance everything.
It would, and it would make GMs be more accountable for their actions. I feel like they use it as a backboard. We fucked up. We might as well tag them. You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
like,
and the
it's
worst
just
part is the
bullshit.
contract control. The worst part is if a player gets hurt during the franchise tag, that's not guaranteed fucking money, and that's
see,
the fucked up
that's
part.
what that doesn't
That's
make any
the fucked
sense.
up part.
You're guaranteeing that he has to stay. Now he can't guarantee that he gets his money for he stays.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If he was able to go leave, he'd probably go pick up a guaranteed few years.
Well, and if
And
they just changed that language in it and said, "Hey, it's a guaranteed deal," cool, because that means you get top of the market money if you get franchise tag now for
Straight
1 year,
should be
but
the
it's a
offset
fully
for it.
guaranteed 1-year deal. Like, that's how it should be. If it's going to be a thing, it's tags are the worst. It's so anti player. It's just they'll never take them away now because I think it'd fuck up the whole system. It'd fuck up everybody's calendar. Like, it would just.
fuck it, take it away. Let's go. Let's move forward. Let's make it spicy. On the other flip there, I'll be fast before we get into some spicy topics like Sorsby and so forth. We move over to some college football. And I have to take a fucking real piss in a second. Dude, I don't know. I just thought about running this by you guys. Cameron Hayward pisses me off. Like, okay, like he got the money, bitched right away last year. Then he bitched some more. And then he was able to get back on the team with a new 2-year deal. And it just, that's the other side. So, like, we were just talking about guys with a lot of hopes and dreams for their careers still. They've already been great players, but they have a lot of dreams. Like, they want to go do shit. They want to go win games. They want to go become Hall of Fame players. Cameron Hayward, you're on the tail end of your career. Your team is as mid as it gets. Like, definition of mid is the Steelers. Like you could be good or bad. You're just mid. Like, mid doesn't have to be a bad thing. I think people say that now like it's a bad thing, but like mid in the NFL is where Eric doesn't want to be. It's the purgatory. You know what I'm saying? It's like where you don't want to be. Motherfucker, I don't know. I just thought about bringing that up just real fast as a little segue after all that. Like, look at these guys that deserve so much, but they're going to be held in by these fucking teams that are just old school dude. We're going to tag them. And guys like Hayward get to be like, you know what? I already got paid, but I don't like it. What are you talking about?
It's the 18th highest paid defensive tackle in the league, by the way.
Yeah, and the motherfucker needs to be in a nursing home. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
37, yeah.
Yeah, like, get the fuck. I like having old dudes on my franchise mode on Madden. You guys know me. I like making sure the old dudes got a place to play. I wouldn't even have re-signed that one. You know what I'm saying? I would have told that boy to walk. We need money. Oh, that's crazy. Speaking of vets, DeAndre Hopkins says he won't force his way into a team. I just thought about adding that because it kind of made me sad. I'm like, you know what? OG? Force yourself on a team. You're an OG of OGs. I don't give a fuck. No one's gonna judge you. Go play for Seattle. Go play for the Rams. Go just keep popping around. Hop on that vet minimum and have a good time. OBJ's back, which I don't even know what to think of that. It's just sad. That's just sad. Sad. That's a rainy weather day right there. Matt Stafford, I thought it was just cool. He said Drew Brees inspired him to keep playing. Because Drew Brees always says that if his arm didn't give out on him, he'd still play. He's like, my mind can do it, but my body can't. So I thought that was kind of
the one I would play lefty.
Yeah, like that's a cool conversation I'd like to be a fly on the wall for. Two Hall of Fame guys being like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Over some old fashions. Like that's just a cool situation. Lions corner. Terrion Arnold. Arrested on 8 felony accounts. Could be facing life behind bars. Wow. Well, not only was your number 0, your life was 0 too, bud. That's crazy. I just think yeah. You know what? NFL's healthy. Let's get after it. They're not going to let him play. That's just wild. Kidnapping motherfuckers going crazy.
Did you see the story, bro?
Yeah,
apparently
bro.
His friends that did it FaceTimed him why they did it and waited for him to come home.
Yeah, tied the ass up. They weren't even part of the robbery. The fucking
that's
people.
because that's the whole thing. We texted each other about a couple months ago. We're like, yo, this dude's kind of hard. He took care of his own robbers. It wasn't even the robbers.
People, motherfucker.
That's crazy, dude. Insane. Shout out Lions. All right, move over to some college football. Now, this is kind of NFL intertwined. We got the Sorsby situation. I was going to do the 5-year eligibility shit first, but I'm just going to go straight to Sorsby. Of course, I think, and I'm going to pass this on. I'll go TJ first. So I'm going to take a quick little piss break. My whole thing is, one, he's a bitch. It's annoying. Be accountable. It's just annoying. I understand, though, you're trying to do what you can to fight for your own career and try to make something of yourself. We all made dumb decisions, too, when we were young. I'm pretty sure I would not want my 19, 18-year-old self to represent me right now. I just would not want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be my argument. Trying to act like the motherfucker was just sick is annoying as fuck. Mm-hmm. It's like, in a way he was, sure. But it's a little hard to take you seriously when I see DraftKings at the bottom of the ticker while you're telling me this. Like, that doesn't make, it's just some idiocracy movie shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me the problem and be part of the problem. I think his lawyer makes him look bad, and I think he needs a PR team. I think just because you could say you could fight stuff doesn't mean you should make it public. I think if they would have kept half of this hush-hush and we would have just found out the court orders on the side, yes, we would have had our own opinions, but I don't think it nearly would have blew up as much. I think Texas Tech should have kept their mouth shut. I think they should just let the judges deal with it. We would have saw it as a crazy story, and I think that it would have been a little bit less pressure for them to make certain decisions if he did get granted eligibility. Also, people are kind of silly. The reason why he had to bounce back to the draft is because they realized that the next court case they weren't going to win. Like, it was going to be overturned in seconds. Like, that's what they're worried about. I also think it's a very bad habit that they could just go to local judges to get shit oversigned. NCAA needs to fucking figure out a way to get their power back. I know I said in the group chat, this is one of the few times I stand on NCAA's side. They're the ones that already told me he couldn't do anything. And then they went around and bitched about it. And then now people are getting mad at the NCAA. But that's why Nick Saban's going blue in the face, trying to yell at Congress. Now, I know a lot of people don't want the old heads to get back in charge. I hate the NCAA. But they need to come back, and it needs to be reformed. They can't come back the way they used to be. Like, you can't just tell people every little detail they can or can't do. But at the same time, we need a face. Like, if there's, honestly, I used to hate Roger Goodell, still kind of do, but I respect the fuck out of that motherfucker now if you watch the way college football is. Because they need a Roger Goodell. They need someone to answer these millionaires, answer these people, answer these schools. And that's a whole nother topic because I just saw that. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Louisville's head coach. Louisville's running out of money and now he has to answer for it. And, that's a cool program. It's just one of those programs that just won't be able to catch up, I don't think, in this situation, which is sad. But then now here we are. NFL doesn't let him back, and they told him straight up. I didn't think the NFL's letter was that bad either. I thought that at the end they kind of told him, if you can find a way to be eligible, we'll take you. We're not telling you it's not going to happen. We're just telling you it's not going to happen right now. And I think that the lawyers shouldn't try to fight that. I think he should take his licks. And I know it sounds like a joke, but he wouldn't be the first quarterback to go play for another league and then come back. Warren Moon came from Canadian Football League. Steve Young decided to go to the UFL instead, the USFL back then, instead of the NFL, and then came back to the league.
I think Doug Flutie did as well. Was
Yeah, so
another
like,
one.
yeah, so to me, if Sorsby's got the meat and potatoes, he's became a household name even on accident. And let's be real, he goes to UFL, dude's probably gonna be their MVP.
Oh,
Like I know I've been dogging on him, but dude, no
Yeah.
quarterback plays like him in there. Like he would, So like to me, it's not doomsday, but the more you keep yelling it's doomsday, you're the kid that yelled, you're the boy that cried wolf. No one's gonna fucking listen to you anymore. That's my take on it. The kid's a bitch. I was kind of hoping he was going to get in the NFL just to watch someone just fuck him up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also just to prove to people that just because you think someone's high because of some of their play, I don't think it translates. I think I kind of feel like a Scrooge compared to TJ and Eric because they love the numbers, they love certain things, and I'm over here like eye test, baby. It's all about the eye test. That motherfucker never passed the eye test with me. He scrambled around playing for Cincinnati and barely could throw a touchdown sometimes. Just saying. But I just want your guys' takes on it, your pick, your brains. TJ, man, what do you think about this whole situation? What do you think about what changes should be made outside of him or himself, or just anything you got on that topic while I go drain the main vein?
You got it, man. So with Sorsby, man, I look at it like this, man. At some point, like you got to have some dignity and you got to have some pride and be a man and go, you know what? I fucked up. And you got to get in front of those judges and you got to get in front of your teammates and in front of the world and go, look, I fucked up. I was a kid then. I'm slightly older now. I got a new perspective. We're going to do things differently, man. But my feelings about it are kind of like, it's kind of two-faced because it's like, I want the NFL to be hard. I want the NFL to be fucking ruthless with the sports betting thing because the sports betting thing has the opportunity to fuck
The
everybody's
integrity
money
of
up.
the game. The
Oh, yeah.
integrity of the
Everybody's
game.
money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to cook up a fucking metaphor for you. So like, imagine you're on a pirate ship with 10 other pirates, right? And you're sailing back and forth across the ocean. You got one buddy, one crewmate that gets drunk and he falls asleep. You don't whoop his ass because he doesn't do his job, but he's also not fucking really ruining anything. Everybody else just got to work harder. And then in the other situation, you're on a pirate ship and you find out there's a motherfucker poking holes in the boat. You throw his bitch ass overboard. He's fucking up the boat. He might kill
Yeah.
everybody. He might bring everybody down. Throw that motherfucker to the sharks, and at a certain point, look, I hate it had to be you, Sorsby, but we got to make a fucking example out of somebody because if we let you off simple and let you off easy and you know what, sneak into the supplemental, you can go fucking play for the Colts, like if we don't fucking put you in what are the medieval things they put your head in and your arms in?
Guillotine, right?
No, like in front of
Guillotine.
Oh.
yeah,
they
no.
just
Oh,
they
yeah,
just lock you in
like
them
at
in
Cedar
front of
Point where you
everybody.
take the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
throw
yeah.
the fucking tomatoes at you. If you bet on sports, we need to put you in one of those, man.
100%.
You need to be a fucking example and have the whole town point and laugh because you almost fucked everybody's money up. So, that being said, though, the NFL promotes sports gambling, and that's fucked too. And like I told you guys before, man, there's an old Chinese proverb that says first things must be fucked now so you can unfuck them later. And that's how I feel about this whole thing. Now everything's fucked up, so now we got to unfuck it. And situations like this are the kind of thing that leads to that solution where you go, dude, this is not good. This is fucking everything's ruined. Same thing with the Louisville thing, like Jack brought up, man. For a D1 program to be running out of money and they don't know how they're going to do it, and now they got players on the payroll and they can't fucking pay them and all this shit. It's like at a certain point the egg's got to crack. You just hope it's not your fucking egg, So it is what it is with Sorsby, man. For the record, I didn't think he was that fucking good of a player anyway.
He was a good college quarterback. That's like, and that doesn't mean he could have made big jumps. I didn't want to cut you off, but still,
I
he's just a good college quarterback.
I wasn't even like shocked like at the college stuff. I watched him play against Nebraska in the first game of the year, and that just sold it for me. Where I'm like, dude, I don't know about this fucking guy, and the people saying like, oh, he's a fucking top talent and all this shit. And it's like, yeah, he plays hard, he runs hard, he got a cannon, but there's 500 guys just like that are unemployed right now, So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I also knew when I first got introduced to Sorsby, this is random, was you know how in NCAA they make you do quarterback battles randomly, even if you were a starter? They're like, yeah, you're gonna battle still. Who cares? Like you led the league and you won the Heisman. Who cares? I had a battle against Sorsby 3 years in a row at one of my fucking road to glories. I was like, God damn, who is this kid? Like that's
You
how
want
I
to
got.
go
Yeah,
away?
I was like, yo, this dude's fucking. They got him at like 96 overall by his senior year. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh man, no, say you just can't mess with it. And I think some people have amnesia. Like I always think of Pete Rose and them. You know, it's like, bro, like there's been greats that have fucked up gambling. You think you're gonna get by this? Like the world's moving at a fast pace. Gambling's always gonna be a thing. I don't know if you guys saw too that the university stated that his stuff didn't get alerted, and it got alerted one time, and it wasn't him. Like they have like little tracking devices on it, so obviously this dude was doing something wild. And also, people are kind of dumb. They're like, "Oh, we have stuff tracking their phones." I'm like, "Motherfuckers can have multiple phones. Motherfuckers can
Oh,
have
yeah.
have a cousin help them." I know if Clark was a D1 athlete, he'd have Doug making all of his bets on the
Oh,
side.
yeah.
Like it wouldn't be Clark, it'd be Doug. Like and Doug would take the heat for it, not Clark. Like that's just the way it would work. But
Always have a fall guy.
I
yeah,
knew
like
motherfuckers that were getting off the exit across the Pennsylvania line and betting on sports and then driving back to Ohio
yep,
and
that's
getting
a
in their
normal.
driveway. Like
Yeah, it's a
people
normal
find a
thing.
way. Nobody is more, they say no one's more creative than someone in prison. It's like
Yeah.
when breaking the rules is all you got, man, people get fucking tricky.
And I get the caveat, he wasn't playing and stuff like that. Also, I think he's just kind of a loser. Like, dude, like imagine the ego he was feeling that he felt like he had a bet on the team to feel part of the team. Like that's what he said. And I'm not gonna say any names, but me and Clark were around some college football in our college days, and
Oh, I know.
we know a few characters that would do some shit like that.
And that'd be their excuse.
And I promise you, they're not sick. They're not facing like an illness.
Just stupid as
Yeah,
fuck.
they're just fucking their butt hurt. That's all it is. Their egos are hurting.
That's
Clark,
hilarious.
I don't know. I could be telepathic with Clark. Clark, me and him already got a couple names loaded up.
Yeah,
We won't
yeah.
do that. Shout out to those boys, and even some of those boys can ball too. Shout out Sorsby. Maybe I'm gonna call him that next time I see him. We know what we're talking about. That's hilarious. Eric, man, go with you, man. Like, just what do you think of the situation? I know we kind of touched on like the main parts of it, but just overall, what do you think of the situation? Or like, if he did get to to the draft, was he actually going to get drafted? I love the Colts take because that's a perfect team. That would have been like, all right, let's just add him to the locker room. Doesn't hurt. Kind of helps you brownies. I was worried about you guys, like no joke, because it's like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Because I could see Barry sitting there with that carrot in front of him, being like, what's one more quarterback? What do you think, Eric? What do you think of the whole thing? Also, Eric, me and Eric, we do like the sports bet and stuff. We've been very avid about that ourselves for a long time. So maybe you have a different take to it too, Eric, as someone that sports bets a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I Sorsby isn't a victim. I want to make that clear before I say this, but I really hope there's like I don't want this to be the end of the dude. Like, hey, because even those Indiana bets were 2 years ago now, so like and like I know he bet 90,000 bucks. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of fucking money. But he was also like, I just hope that someone's in his ear telling him like, hey, just because this lawyer says we can do this, you're still paying this fucker. Like if this fuck, you're not like because you're not gonna win against the NFL. I don't give a fuck. You can't. You're not a part of the NFLPA. What are you going to sue them about? You know what I mean? Because it's the NFL's discretion when they want to hold a supplemental draft and not. They're choosing not to this year, and it's mainly because if they let Sorsby in, and let's take the Browns out. Let's say the Cardinals. Let's say he goes to Cardinals training camp
Yeah.
and balls out somehow, and he's the starting quarterback. But everyone else in the NFL, like, hey, you're going to let that fucker play? Like he just sports gambled, and you're going to let him play? I think the NFL saw it as like a win-win. We're like, hey, we can kind of tell him to fuck off, make this his 1 year suspension, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Where he just has to stay out of the league. Like, and I don't know where he goes. Like, because I mean, I know we joked about the UFL. Do you want to guess the maximum pay for a UFL player for a season?
Probably upward of 500K.
62,000. Is is the
Wow.
maximum right now in the UFL. So he ain't doing that
Wow.
God
shit. You know what I mean? Like
damn,
he ain't
dude.
doing that. Well, that's what I
Gotta
was
do what
thinking.
you
I'm like,
gotta do,
what
buddy.
if
That's only like
what if
three
he got like a
parlays for
$1 million
him.
UFL contract? You know what I mean? Like $1 million UFL contract to play what 8 or 10 games? I remember they play. Like that'd be kind of sick. You know, put some film
Yeah.
out there. But I don't know where he goes. But like I said, I really hope he's got like good family or something in his pocket, being like, hey, dude, like let this go. If at the beginning he would have said, "Hey, I fucked up. I want to go to the supplemental draft because I don't know where else to go," I probably would have been like, "Okay, cool." But like the fact that he bought it and Texas Tech is almost more corny than fucking him. That
No, they
bullshit
made it
10
worse. That's why I
that
went
10
off on
minute
them
video they
first.
fucking made, dude. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
they were
well,
worse.
and then like I can't bitch about the kid if the people in his ears are telling him this bullshit. You know what I mean? That dude's gonna make $6 million for you this year. Say that's all it was. It was a wrong investment. Don't give me a 10-minute video trying to justify what he did, because that's like the one rule in sports is you can't do that.
No.
Like, and
And
and we can argue about the morals of that and stuff, and that's fine. But that is like the golden rule. Like the NFL does not fuck with that. That's why I think it's a win-win for the NFL. You know, I'm sure the owners, this is the NFL's off time, if you guys didn't know. This is when the coaches are seeing their kids for the first time. This is when the owners are on a fucking beach having them fucking, a Mai Tai, whatever the fuck. I'm
Mhm.
sure they all called Roger Goodell and said, "Hey, we don't want to deal with this shit. Like, it's the off season. Let it be the off season. No one wants to deal with this shit and the stress." And then everyone that said it was a first round pick, I never really agreed with that in the supplemental draft. I thought he would have been an easy second round pick in the supplemental draft.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like, we're also coming off a quarterback. We're also coming off a quarterback class where Ty Simpson was just went 15th
And all
overall.
the quarterbacks suck now. Even the vets
Well,
that are
and that's
backups suck.
and like
Like there's no one that's
If you ask the Rams, give Sorsby and Ty Simpson, take their names out of it, take all the background out of it. If you ask the Rams who they spend a 15 overall pick on as a developmental quarterback in the draft night and Sorsby was available, I feel like that might have been like that's the team I'd want to hear talk about it. Just
I
like, hey,
want to
if you
know
take
who
all the
lied.
bullshit out, yeah.
Someone lied because remember, like right before that, everyone's like every team was asking.
Hmm.
I want to know who lied. Give me the reporter. Give me whoever fake ass Woj that you want to be. Because I heard so much of that shit that whole week leading up. That's what pissed me off. It's like, oh, like everyone's in on it, and then out of nowhere they're like, yeah, all the owners said fuck off. I'm like, yeah, I could have told you that. Don't tell me like I think that of course a recruiter or a scout's gonna be like, oh yeah, he's decent because like
Or
that's
even a
their job.
GM, or even a
Yeah,
GM.
yeah, like but they're not gonna fuck.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about, dude? And also like I like this for like if everything keeps getting the way it's going, Texas Tech put their foot in their mouth. Enjoy that small time success you had during the Wild West at NIL. You just signed your death
Oh yeah.
warrant. Kind of like what TJ was talking about. You just fucked with everybody's money. Now they're gonna have to put regulations on half this shit, and you ain't gonna eat off that plate because you played in the Big 12 and you're the worst college football playoff team of all time. And then the coach wants to go up there and say, "Oh, people do worse things." That's probably the worst thing you could have said. Like,
Oh yeah, that's an idiotic. I
could you
couldn't believe
imagine being
he said that.
Kirby Smart watching that,
Yeah.
laughing
That
and being
that's
like,
worse than
"Bro,
what
I gotta
that's
go pick
worse
up
than
my
what
kid from the
Sorsby did,
jail."
dude.
Yeah,
Like that's dead ass worse than what Sorsby did, in my opinion.
yeah,
It's like
dude.
you guys are the
Oh
ones
yeah.
inviting these fucking dudes.
I think they should have let the kid speak more too. I know a lot of times,
Hmm.
as someone that's gotten in trouble myself, they always tell you not to say anything and stuff. But I think after a while, it would have been a smart move to have the kid speak his heart out. Let's get a feel of who the kid is. I feel like I've heard so much about him, and I have not heard him speak fucking once on his own. And that plays a big part. You know, it does. I mean, these motherfuckers fucking booted Colin Kaepernick. You think they want to fucking deal with you? They'll fucking boot you even if you already are part of the players' fucking shit. They don't care. They made Shadur sit there. You know what I'm saying? And that's Shadur. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're not going to fuck with it. It's done. It's done. You got anything, Clark, before we keep going with some other shit?
We were talking about Sorbs getting a UFL contract for like $1 million. Could you imagine being a motherfucker that makes $47,000 a fucking year playing that shit? And you're like a fucking D end. I would pick that dude up on his head and fucking break his
Yeah,
neck.
you
I'd be
gonna wish
so
you gambled
fucking
on his
pissed.
game.
Yeah, oh, 100%, dog. I'm breaking your hands. You're never gambling again, motherfucker. You ain't
Yeah.
getting shit
Nah, you
Beat
now.
you 90,000 times for your 90,000 bets.
I'm making 55 grand this year. You gambling with your life being out here with me in the field.
Yeah, I got,
Stop
and half
fucking
my
playing with
shit's
me,
going to
man.
child support, bitch.
dude.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
half those dudes got problems, probably. They send all their money to
he
child support,
DoorDashes
Like
taxes.
it's
midnight after
1,600
the
a week,
game.
dog. You get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here.
Hell no, that's grown man anger right there. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that is.
I would
Ain't
have loved
nobody.
it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, go tell Perry on Winfrey there's a guy making 900 grand more than him.
That fucking video of Perry on Winfrey, dog. And it
Oh,
was AJ
man.
McCarron he was screaming at.
Yeah. Yo, McCarron was I did not expect him to be like that, truthfully. He was getting
Oh,
on
but
those
he bounced as soon as
asses.
you heard Perry on's voice. He bounced out the locker room, though.
Shit, I would
Come
too.
on
That
now.
motherfucker's insane.
Dude, AJ McCarron's the real deal. He is. I hate how he talks about Notre Dame, though. He can go fuck himself for that, but he's the real deal. He is. Random college stuff before we get to actual just college football and all the stuff coming out leading up for the season. This is one of my favorite times of college football seasons because the dust settles of who has who, how the rosters are. I love when NCAA starts giving out the ratings and stuff because it's kind of our first feel, right? I feel like before college football games were coming out, because we went through a whole decade without them, you kind of had to do your own homework to figure out what's going on. It's kind of nice to see like more and more build up for the offseason, more and more build up of who's supposed to be good, more and more build up of the hype, more odds out there for things. Fuck you, Sorsby. We're allowed to bet, you're not. So like it's just like, and shit like that. And I just think it's real unique. But before that, I'm gonna go through just some random shit that I thought was just cool. Jim Tressel being enshrined into the Ohio State Ring of Honor. I think that is wild. That man was not in it before this. That is wild. Jim Tressel, shout out. I saw Urban Meyer on his podcast do a cool little story of Jim Tressel. Urban Meyer's a little cocky motherfucker, ain't he?
I hate that. I ain't
Dude,
gonna say nothing.
He
Dude, 'cause I gotta.
so smoothly was like, I only played him once and beat him, but I respect the man. Like it's
Yeah,
But
dude.
also-
I don't ever really say like I hate somebody. Like truly mean it. I hate that motherfucker, dog. I don't give a fuck how many national championships he wins. I think he's a scummy piece of shit. Go fake a fucking heart attack, you douchebag.
You know who reminds me of Urban is Dan Lanning. I think Dan Lanning gives off like a young Urban Meyer to me. Like I think as he ages, he might be like equally like a cocky old guy.
I'm
that-
starting
might
to
have-
hate
you
him.
know,
I was bought into Lane a couple of years ago. No, maybe it's because he's in the Big Ten too, so it makes it worse. But I'm just that's the game I'm circling for Ohio State this year. Just like obviously Michigan, then like, hey, this is the next team I want to beat. Like fuck Texas, I don't care. Keep Lanning's ass in the fucking locker.
Well, that's
Sorry,
a good.
that was a random.
That's this is all good because one of the things I didn't have in the outline that I was thinking about a lot the last day was they're coming out with all these ratings for stuff, right? Especially for the video games, different
Yeah.
things, and it's like, man, ever since Oregon was number one all the way through and then lost against Ohio State, like I just won't bank on Oregon. To me, I'm confused of the bias that Oregon keeps getting. Now I understand. I'm a logical person. The same reason why Notre Dame's getting love is because Oregon and Notre Dame and Texas are one of the few teams that are keeping pretty much the whole rosters, and they're absorbing their rosters back and that's, usually turnover means you're going to play really well. Shout out James Franklin for that. We learned that the hard way with Penn State. We all thought they were going to be good because they had everybody back, but they were asked. But I don't. Maybe you guys can open my eyes up, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I respect Oregon. I see it through. I think it's because I see it through Keegan's eyes, Coach Keegan Lowe on here. Like, he's a genuine fan, so I see it a little differently. I think I try to just look at it as like from that. But I'm like, bro, like, what did Oregon? What did they do to earn the right at all to come in here as just outright favorites? Is it okay to say that we don't have an outright favorite this year? Like, are we allowed to say that? Because like, look at Ohio State; they have a lot of turnover, but they could be looked at as a favorite. Notre Dame, a lot of turnover. They could be looked at as favorite. I think Georgia's a sleeping giant waiting to come back out again with what they got going on.
And how much of a sleeper is Georgia though? Like
But you know what I'm
Georgia.
saying. I'm saying
Yeah.
like in the aspect of being a national championship contender, they've been sitting at 5 and 6 the last couple of years, and we all kind of knew that because it's more because of Gunnar Stockton. I like Gunnar Stockton, but like he's only going to take them so far if they don't have a couple other players.
Will Howard-esque.
Yeah, it's just like, how good can you be? It's up to you kind of thing. And Stockton will run motherfuckers over. I don't know if you have seen that motherfucker runs the ball. And I like his story, old Georgia boy. But I don't know. Like TJ, what do you think, man? Like you're Dan Lanning guy, kind of. Are we? Like I think we're all kind of Dan Lanning guys, even though we're we. I think it's kind of like my hate for Ohio State. Would I hate you as much if you weren't good? You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna hate the guys that stick around that are good. Look at Cincinnati, Indiana. I love the hate they're getting, just because to me that's what college football is all about. When you TJ said this the first time he got in the pod last year. When you're sitting at the top, the hate is gonna come. And that's what Ohio State fans deal with. That's what we deal with. Me and Clark as Notre Dame fans. Me and Clark are grateful for it. I want you guys to hate us. That means we're relevant. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to play Oklahoma State in a random ass fucking bowl game, and that's what I have to look forward to. No, I want to compete. But man, Oregon really the favorites? TJ, what do you think of that? Like in your eyes, after you answer that with Oregon, like who are the favorites you think this year? We're just going early. We don't have to worry about stats. We don't have to worry about too many things. We don't get a lot of time to talk this way, especially because we're going to blink twice and it's going to be August and we're going to be talking legit football. What do you think of all that? Who's the favorite? And does Oregon really deserve the flowers? I know we like Dante Moore a lot. Is it because of him? But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, yeah. To me, I like look around, look around at all the top programs and then look at who's had stability at quarterback and then who's stability, kind of on an X and Y, who is stable as well as having an extremely talented player. Like Gunnar Stockton, yeah, Georgia's quarterback position is stable, but is he like a world beater, like Heisman level player? He's not, so Dante Moore being arguably the best, quarterback in college football last year outside of Mendoza, he walks right back into an Oregon program that has a lot of the same players. They had a team of young running backs last year, young wide receivers last year that were highly touted. Do I think they deserve to be favorites? No. Does it make sense to me that the books in Vegas might have them as the favorites? Yeah. I mean, but
yeah, it's like them, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Texas on rotation.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, out of 138 FBS programs, 4 of them could be favorites. Yeah. So it's like you're not doing like a lot of work to determine. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be one of the big ones, Yeah. So even a school like Indiana, I wouldn't expect Indiana to be like they're not like the 2002 Lakers where you're like, holy fuck, like who could beat them? It's like no, they got a new quarterback. They had a great team last year, but got a lot of turnover, just like the Buckeyes do. A lot of turnover, So I don't know. And as far as favorites go, like I said, it's got to be one of the 5. It's got to be Ohio State. It's got to be Georgia. I'm surprised you're not seeing more LSU.
Mm-hmm.
They're sprinkled. They're starting. You're starting to see, I think, as we get closer and closer, that's starting to build already. Yeah.
Because this Sam Leavitt guy was the golden pony at Arizona State.
Good looking dude too. I gotta say that, dude.
No,
good looking.
Fuck you, Sam Leavitt. Get the fuck out of here. What you got? Gorgeous, and you throw a 60-yard fade, you cocksucker.
Face.
Fuck. And he's playing for Lane Kiffin. Jesus
That's what I'm saying.
Christ.
It just looks good. It does.
This is gonna be all the girls' favorite quarterback in next year's draft, huh?
Oh dude.
Yeah. I never seen what he actually looks like before.
Yeah. And then we got CJ Carr with the shaved head. I love it.
Yeah. we like our quarterbacks with an extra tooth in their mouth. One of them little baby teeth in the front, the little sliver teeth. We need one of them guys, man. Fucking hey. I can't have no gorgeous quarterback. What the fuck is going on, man?
CJ Carr got the American History X cup.
Oh yeah, dude. CJ Carr, man. I love when he wears the cutoff with the Under Armour under it with the chain. Man, that motherfucker.
That's my quarterback.
Everyone knows when you go Catholic school, there's 2 different guys that go to Catholic school. You know what I'm saying? You got Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey. That's literally how it works. And right now, he's a little bit of both. I think that's just clean. But I'm with TJ, man. Sometimes it is hard. I think, but also at the same time, I think some things are written out. I think Chambliss from Ole Miss is the secret the Heisman this year. If he plays
I love him, bro. He was so good. And a lot of people say he's not going to be a great NFL quarterback. I don't care. I love him.
He's a great college quarterback. That's for damn
phenomenal. Sure. He can make some plays happen.
Swear. But hey, man, Oregon. I just don't see Oregon. They have to go over you have to get over the hump with Ohio State consistently enough and Indiana enough because Indiana had the best transfer class. Like, you know what I mean? And, like, they're an old team again. Very similar. Some would say Hoover is – I've heard Klatt and a lot of guys talk like this. Hoover's technically, on paper, supposed to be better than what Mendoza was when he showed up.
Yeah.
Even though Hoover's kind of that old school Brett Favre slinger, like he's gonna throw interceptions because he believes in his arm. I also think TCU is just fucking weird, and you can't really judge a
Yeah.
lot of what he was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
do.
Purgatory.
Yeah, like what are you really judging with that? Um, with that, before we transfer over to the other guys, let's talk Ohio State ball because I've seen a lot of stuff with Ohio State. We can start with Eric and we'll move back to TJ. Dude, I mean, Ohio State's a weird team this year, and I think I've seen a lot of stuff. So I follow. I don't. Eric probably does around here. 97 point whatever the radio station. They do a bunch of stuff, and I follow their stuff on social media too. And I love watching Ohio State fans get kind of shocked. I think it's better for saying to be under promised, over delivered than it is to already think of him as a Heisman finalist because last year's Heisman race was very fraudulent overall. It just was. The numbers weren't there. I'm not putting it against all the guys that were there. They deserved it. They were there. But if you think that's the average Heisman class, that's really not. That's very below average overall. And I'm not saying that against saying per se, because Jeremiah Love was in there too. But when you lose those big games, you don't have a big arm to go downfield all the time. You have the best wide receivers. A lot of it was short, intermediate game. I think the other thing is quit treating him like Will Howard. He's not going to get you a third and short. That's just not. I just don't understand why they're even trying to do that with him. Will Howard could do that because he's a fucking brute of a human being.
Dang.
But where do you put Ohio State this year with the expectations, Eric? Overall, early on, legitimately, as you move forward into the season, you guys got a tough schedule, and like I've said before, I think that Ohio State fans need to relax if you go 10-2, not call for days head, because 10-2 is a reason you can still make the playoff in your schedule going 10-2.
You'd still make 10-2. We'd still make 10-2. I'm pretty confident with the schedule, honestly.
Yeah,
Like if
100%.
you call one of those losses Texas, call one Oregon or Indiana, whatever you want. I think 10 I wouldn't be mad at 10-2. And honestly, I prefer not to go undefeated again. Like it's
Yep.
pretty clear at this point that Ryan Day almost needs his dick kicked in once to really get his horses going, to get the cocaine Ryan Day back. And I know it shouldn't take that, but if that's what it takes, let's have that loss in the regular season and turn it up the rest of the season. Like that was last year's is like they thought they could turn up the offense when they wanted to and they couldn't. And I don't even think it was a saying thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm reserved on saying a little bit because I think he's accurate as all hell. I think he has a quick ass release. I think his arm power is fine. I don't think there's a problem with his arm power. I worry about the offensive line still. Because
100%.
those games last year, I don't blame Sand. The offensive line played so bad in those games that
Yeah.
like we just got handled up front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I'm not taking it off saying because he didn't have great games either, but he's also not a huge guy. He's not small, but he's also not big. He's just that weird in betweener. You know what I mean? Like probably a true 5'11 ish. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Uh obviously I want to win a natty. That's number one. But second, selfishly, dude, I'd really love to see JJ win a Heisman. Just because he's bordering the best Buckeye we've ever seen at this point. Like he realistically could be the all-time leader in Ohio State in like what 4 or 5 games in, I think. He only needs like what 600 yards, I think.
And
And
he
like
still is technically under-delivered of what his peak is. That's why I think
yeah,
it's
and that's
crazy.
and that's what's crazy. He's got one full season left. So it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, when in doubt, throw it to that motherfucker. Like, please. Because
Yeah.
I'll be damned. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, obviously a natty's up here, but I'd put a JJ Heisman over like a Big Ten championship. Like, that's how much I just want to see it happen selfishly. It's also been a while since we saw Buckeye win the Heisman. So that kind of leans into it too, where I just selfishly want to see another Heisman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm worried about the offensive line and then placing a lot on defense. Obviously, we've talked about me and TJ have talked about this at length because it's weird because like I'm also like not totally clocked back into college football yet.
Yeah. That's
Where,
what I'm saying.
like,
We're getting it
I can
revved up
name,
now. Yeah, we're getting revved
like,
up now.
in about a month, I could probably name you all 22 starters on Ohio State. You know what I mean? But I'm just not there yet. But no, I mean, obviously, I think they'll be good. I'm kind of excited for a tough schedule. We'll see if I still think that. I just think it's going to be fun to watch a full season of like games that stress you out, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think like you just can't go on cruise control at all. And maybe I'll regret saying that, but like we've already all talked on this pod that like 10-2 wouldn't be a failure of a season.
No.
Like
You have one of the toughest schedules in the. I actually am shocked at what you said though, because to me, I think it's pretty important that Ryan Day gets a Big Ten championship. I think for his,
I don't know if the 12-team playoff it matters as much as it
no,
does anymore,
to me,
though.
no, big scheme, no. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking when you know how critical they are when they review him, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think for him personally, it would help take a and it's so crazy that give it up to Ohio State, man, because even if you win a natty, they're like, fuck it, dude, you still got to keep, you know what I'm saying? Like the bar is the bar for a reason at Ohio State. And a lot of people don't know that unless you're actually around Ohio State like we are. Um, but I think you guys need a Big Ten championship. I think especially just due to the way the Big Ten is and how big it is. I think you need to reassert yourself. I think that it's to me, I get kind of irritated for you guys that Oregon and Penn State and all of them get to pretend that they're the Big Ten champions or like they get to compete for it. When in reality, we all know that Oregon and Ohio State should be the Big Ten championship every single year until someone like USC maybe comes in there, and surprises some people, or even Indiana in that case. I, but also like yeah, it's up to saying if Smith gets that Heisman push. You know what I'm saying? And I also think Henry, your guys' freshman, is going to be a breakout star because they're going to be worried about Smith all the way through. TJ, what about you? Before me and Clark get into a little bit of Notre Dame talk, you know what I mean? That's why I love it. We're a little half and half in here. Everyone gets to embrace their teams evenly. What do you think about good old OSU this year? What's your expectations, and what's something that you like to see? I think it's the beauty of college football is every 3 or 4 years, even no matter how good you are, your program goes over a major turnover. And everyone thought that was happening to you guys last year. But then when you saw the defense, it was like, nah, this isn't the major turnover year, even though we gave up a lot of draft picks the year before. This year is a wild turnover year for you guys. Where do you guys think? Where do you stand as a fan? And what's your expectations going on before you even know everybody, like Eric said?
Yeah, so I mean, with the Buckeyes, the fandom kind of changes every year, right? So like with the turnover, you're kind of falling in love with a new team. There are so many new names on defense this year that, like Eric said, it's like, dude, we're not gonna fucking know till game two, like front to back, who's actually like getting regular minutes. Um, I wanted to talk with Sayin real quick. I almost wonder, and Eric, either back me up or tell me I'm stupid. I almost wonder how much of Sayin last year was limited by the conservative offense and not necessarily his skill level. A lot of short intermediate game. I almost wonder if that's more on the offense being called and not necessarily him, because you watch him throw the ball, it's an NFL ball.
Hmm.
He throws an NFL ball. That fucking thing jumps out of his hand and he is dead ass on the nail accurate. I just wonder how much, because we talked last year towards the end of the year how the conservative Ohio State offense kind of came back to bite them. Where now, like we were in the game with Miami, we're in the game with Indiana, where you need fucking points and you can't get them in a hurry because you haven't been getting them in a hurry all year. So yeah, I just wonder about saying with that whether it was more the offense or on him. What came first, the chicken or the egg scenario? Like, was the play calling conservative because of him, or was he playing conservatively because of the play calling? So, that's what I got on saying. And then with the Buckeyes, like a 2-3 loss season, like wouldn't be out of the question for me. Like turning over as many guys, we could drop some games, but at the end of the day, like I want them to be great. Like the challenge of playing that kind of schedule versus the glory of winning the national championship. If you go undefeated through the playoffs and win the Natty, that's one of the greatest national championships of all time. You played five
Yeah.
top 15 teams. That is the little bit that makes me excited and go, that's the
Hmm.
fucking challenge. If we lose to Indiana, fuck it, because I want the fucking chance at glory. I want to be able to say maybe at the end of the year, like, dude, this Ohio State team was maybe one of the best, teams of the modern era with that schedule and winning, it through the playoffs. So to me, like, I love the program and obviously I want to win. I love the game just as much as I love the Buckeyes. I love the challenge. I love playing tough games, and I just want to see us in games that fucking matter. I don't want to go play Iowa and shit can them 50-0. That means nothing to me. We've seen 20 years of that. Me and
We just saw
Eric.
an empty calorie 12-win season. Like that's
Yeah,
really how last
fuck
year
it.
was. It was an empty calorie regular season. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
mean, take out the tech. I mean, obviously not empty, but you know what I'm saying. Like it
Yeah.
just
yeah.
felt like it was empty calorie once the big game came around.
And I want to get in. I want to go to Indiana. I want to go to Autzen
Hmm.
and fuck them up in a 34-31 game at night under the lights in front of 100,000 Oregonians, man.
Yeah.
Like I love that because I love the fucking game. I love the game just as much as I love the Buckeyes, man.
Well, and going back to just a couple years ago, you don't lose against Oregon and Michigan that way. That team doesn't have that same fire, right?
Hmm.
Like you need to lose a few games. And what happened to man? Ohio State used to be known for their offensive line. I feel like that's been your guys' biggest issue for the last 3 years or so. Like,
And that's what I wanted to say too, real quick. Let me butt in. You see, you see a player like Jordan Seaton hit NIL or hit the transfer portal from Colorado, undoubted 5-star, was the number one player in his class. We don't even like make a pass at him. And I'm not mad at Jordan. It's not like I want Jordan Seaton that bad, but that archetype of player where you can go and get an out of the box, top elite level left tackle, either in the portal or out of high school, I just don't understand why it hasn't happened for us. Because it seems like if we have this limitless amount of money, you know, it would seem like, hey, we could probably go pick up a nice left tackle. Like we could get one of the better players in the game, but we just haven't. So I wonder where the holdup is there for talent acquisition on like why they haven't prioritized that, because as good as Chris Henry is, you know, if Sayan's getting sacked 2 seconds into his drop back because Sierraveld got shedded outside and, Sayan's dead on the ground, Chris Henry ain't going to make much of an impact. So
I think a
I
lot of
don't
it's
know.
injuries. Speaking from a Notre Dame fan, we segued to Notre Dame here. A lot of it's injuries, where I feel like the coaches know more than we do when it comes to that,
Hmm.
and they know more of the development than we do. Like I remember last year, me and Clark will know this really well that like they were real concerned about the O line when we played you guys in the national championship because everyone was injured. But the next year, everyone was getting mad at us that we let that center go to Indiana. It's like, yeah, because he wouldn't have started because the starting center was hurt all year and no one even thought of that. And the development wise coaches are like, yo, we told him to leave to go somewhere better because like, yeah, but he won the MVP of the Rose Bowl. It's like, yeah, we didn't fucking give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like he wasn't going to be as good as the dude that's playing right now, So it's like one of those things. Clark, switching over, man. Also, shout out one more thing. This is the only time you're gonna hear me be in on. See, one thing I always say this. I have to say this. I'm a Ohio State hater, but I think I'm allowed to be a hater because I'm very intrigued by the team and I do my research on the team and I like follow them all year round. That's how dedicated I am being a hater. I like seeing your guys' good stuff, your bad stuff, your all season stuff. I like seeing what the pundits talk about. I like going in on good old Carpenter and what he has to say. I want to know what's going on so I can hate properly. But Ohio State's running backs are going to be stupid this year. That's something that people aren't ready for. I think, and that's going to help Sane a lot because your offensive line struggled when you had Will Howard, but it didn't look like that because the running game was so strong, so it helped balance out everything. I think last year Bo Jackson played a lot better than he was supposed to, but I think he's going to be even better this year. And then you got that legend kid coming in too that's fucking jacked now. If you
Dude,
guys saw his
what the
before and after,
fuck happened to him?
Go
dude,
watch
Yeah.
go
huge.
watch his highlights. If you
Yeah,
haven't seen
he's
his legs,
nuts. Yep.
go
Yeah.
watch his high school highlights.
Yeah. So like I think that will help balance that out. Clark, let's go over to us real quick before we wrap up this pod and have these boys hear us. We're in a unique spot. It was really interesting to listen to these boys talk about empty calorie 12-win seasons compared to what we're feeling. Because I don't think as Notre Dame fans we have felt this much pressure to execute a perfect season in a
Yeah.
long time. Last year we had it. Um, going off of kind of what TJ was saying, like I want to see us, like even if we drop some games, I think if we're still really great, I want to be one of the greatest teams. That's what hurts last year. I think, like it or not, that was one of the best Notre Dame teams you're going to get, and I think it was
Yeah,
awful
absolutely.
that we didn't get to see it. But going into this year, we kind of have the opposite of what these guys are talking about. We know the players. I can name you probably 8 out of the 11 starters on defense and offense. And and we're not used to that all the time. We're not. Um, and we're going into this year with this whole nother mentality of we're Notre Dame and we've kind of earned our spot a little bit back in being one of the elite programs, but I don't think we've solidified being in that top 5 conversation like TJ was saying earlier about automatically being favorites. But I think right now we're in that spot where like we really got to do something. And I think the mix of the fan hate and other hate around us, I think this year is very crucial to the tradition and program at Notre Dame overall, especially with all the recruits we have coming in. We've never recruited this well. Never. Even like next year's recruiting, the year after we've
We got
never
another
recruited.
quarterback today, a
Yeah,
four-star
we have
from Bergen
never
Catholic.
recruited this well. Just constant recruiting, constant 5-star, constant 4 stars. And which makes me kind of excited because Notre Dame always has a couple 3 stars that end up being legit. Like Jeremiah Love was like 3 or 4 stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one of those like. But we're going into this year, and our season's very light. And I know everyone wants to talk about the schedule, but sometimes it just falls that way. And that's the way our schedule fell. And fuck USC for kind of making it even more like that. But I think BYU is going to be low key tougher than USC on paper. Um, but here we are going into this year, man. Everyone's healthy. Knapp is finally playing the position he's supposed to play. He's going to be playing guard for a little while. He's been playing tackle this whole time. And to me, he's the best guard going into the draft this next year by far. If you guys don't know about Knapp, look him up. He's played tackle at Notre Dame this whole time, and he's not even supposed to be a tackle. Um, and our running game's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a committee, I think. We're gonna be, I think we're gonna be a little better off than Ohio State was last year per se, because we have a couple more guys than just our top guy. But I think it's gonna be very similar to what Ohio State went through last year, where you just lose your bell cows and you just really have to just make best
Yeah,
with what you
figure it
got.
out.
We're going to be more pass heavy than we've ever been with the best wide receivers core we've ever had. And with the new eligibility rules, Notre Dame gets a lot of guys that are allowed to play more. Apparently, Bowen's allowed to play another year now because of his eligibility rule. Faison's allowed to play another year after this year because of the eligibility rule. So it feels a lot better with that. So it's not like do or die. I think that's a lot of pressure we feel as college fans is when you know you have a lot of seniors, like this is it. You know what I mean? That feeling kicks in of like we gotta do this. Um, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna speak for us, Clark, before you talk. I'm not even being wild, bro. I'm actually getting myself nervous to prepare for this. I think Notre Dame is so worked up and so mad, and everything the offseason's going so smooth that I don't think people are ready to actually say that Notre Dame is gonna be last year's Indiana this year. That's what's gonna happen. I really believe it. And it's not because I believe it because I have hopes. It's no, we're old. We're an old team. We're an experienced team. And CJ Carr is that legit. And I know we were talking about saying could be very accurate, but there's a difference when CJ Carr throws a deep ball compared to any other guy in college right now when they throw a deep ball. There's nobody in college that has a deep ball like CJ Carr. And I think that's why he's getting the love he's getting. Now, we've all seen CJ Carr throw a screen. He can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Motherfucker cannot throw it 5 yards, but he'll throw it 50. Like, it's just like one of those things. But the defense is so strong. One of the best linebacker cores by far, probably the best linebacker core in the nation.
Yeah.
And the best overall committee we've ever had all the way through. Here's my biggest question mark, and people are going to be surprised by this, but it's going to be Freeman's coaching when it comes down to the wire. We've been in these spots. We've had good teams. I mean, I think about those Ohio State losses a lot during the regular season. That's his fault. Both those losses are his fault. That Miami loss was his fault. That Texas A&M loss was his fault. So you can say whatever you want about the players. He's getting the players, but we don't lose those games, those close games, without bad coaching. It's bad coaching. He's not great under pressure. He's very Campbell-esque from the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just loves the fourth downs. He loves to go crazy. And I love that at the end of the day. But I think people need to really be prepared that Notre Dame, with all the hate, all the backing, all the everything, we have so much money. I love being independent during this era. It should be illegal. Like, I'm a little nervous. I know I've been saying, like, I want, like, Saban and them to get this shit passed in Congress. It ain't going to look good for us, though, once it does. It's just not. Like, it will look good, but it's not at the same time. The Wild West is working out in Notre Dame's favor. But I'm saying that I'm preparing myself for an undefeated season in a season that we've never had. What do you think, Clark? I just really think that it's actually so unprecedented of how this offseason is and who we have and who we don't have type shit that we've never had this. We thought Benjamin Morrison, all them were great. No, Moore is light years better. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Bowen's better than Manti Te'o. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like, that's how crazy this is. But what do you think going into this with your Clark point of view as we wrap up this beautiful pod?
I think it does make me a little bit nervous for all the expectations, Sometimes I hope they're not. I hope that they're keeping, and I think Freeman will be really good at this, helping them keep that fire from all the disrespect they heard at the end of the last season about everyone giving a shit about not playing a bowl game and all that. Um, Schedule is very easy, but other than the Florida and the BYU game, Miami, my bad. That does make me a little nervous I think, I will give kudos to Ohio State this year. They got a fucking tough ass schedule, dude. And I think sometimes you need to have those trials and tribulations to really build yourself up for the playoffs. Good thing is we are an experienced team. I think that kind of helps mitigate that. So I'm pretty excited for him, man. I think our defense is gonna be spectacular. I think as long as Carter plays a nice, safe game, doesn't turn over the ball a shit ton. We have a formidable passing game with a complementary rushing attack. I think we're pretty damn good this season.
And we have a lot of sleeper players people don't think of. I forget that. I'm trying to look at it now. I keep forgetting his name. That freshman safety from last year who's coming back.
Yeah, the one that had that pick six. We were at the Syracuse game. We were we were freaking out.
He got
called back.
Oh yeah, Bronte Johnson.
Yeah,
that's who it is. Dude, like that kid, y'all think everyone else. Dude, this kid's Kyle Hamilton-esque, bro. This kid is stupid. No one really knows about him. Like just because he was young last year. I don't really give a. Honestly, I don't give a fuck about the schedule. Let's beat the fuck out of. You know what I worry about? I don't actually worry about those big games because they're not early in the year. I'm so happy we don't have them early in the year. Let us be seasoned up. Let us be primed up, just like we are against USC every year when we play at the end of the year and shit. Like we're gonna win. To me, I'm worried about that. Like, just the games you just don't expect. That one fucking game that just like, the Marshalls, the USFs, I always hold my breath when we play Pitt. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It's like, bro, like just don't give up that one fucking game. And it goes back to like you guys talking about like Day needs a little bit of fire under his belly. You almost hope that you might drop a game so that fire's under his belly. I'm so tired of Freeman needing a loss to make sure everybody plays well. That shit is getting on my fucking nerves. I can't stand it. And as much as Freeman gets a lot of love, I always look at it half glass empty when it comes to him because every year he's dropped a bad game. Every fucking year he's dropped a bad game. And he sat there with that shitty ass fucking fake hairline with his fucking zipped up fucking sweater vest. Look, fuck you, dude. I love you to death with your white ass pants and your fucking big ol' ass. Put your ass on Sam Levitt. We're fucking riding, dude. You know what I'm saying? Fucking hey, that's my fucking Pride Month fucking quote of the fucking year. But I don't know. That part does make me anxious, but be ready for it, baby. Honestly, I love it for us. I was looking at all this stuff going on, guys, and I was so excited to do this pod because I feel so grateful as college fans, especially us. And and Keegan on other, like, it's just like we're so lucky to have all these teams in the Wild West. Everything's changed so much in the last handful of years, and our teams are sitting at the top, looking down at everybody, and everything's up to us. Everyone else is like, oh, I hope we play. That's what makes me so mad looking on social media because everyone's like, oh my God, what about South Carolina? I'm like, what about them? What about them? Oh, Sellers is back. I don't care. No one cares. You care. We don't care. Well, Florida has a new coach. No one cares. You care. What about Tennessee? They seem to be underrated. Nobody cares. Poverty shit. Well, Vanderbilt might come back with that 5-star. Poverty. Just because you have the Red Cross and your NIL doesn't mean you're fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. Fuck the needy. Fuck all of them. I want to see big dogs. I'm tired of this Cinderella shit. I want fucking 12 blue bloods this year. I don't want to see none of that G5 bullshit. I don't want to see none of that unless they earn it. Give me a Genti. I'll watch it. I will. Fucking SMU. Fuck a fucking normal fucking, fuck all of them. Like, I don't even care if there's no ACC teams. And you know what? And also, fuck Miami. Oh, Mensa was so good. He was. But Duke lost a lot of games, and ACC is like playing in a glorified MAC. So don't give me fucking good. Don't do that to me. Don't. Well, the young kid's so fast in Miami. Okay, cool. I still don't give a flying fuck, dude. I hate Miami. I do. But I just can't stand these one-and-done teams that don't stick around long enough and they think they're back. If you got to tell me your university's back, you're not back. Like, if you have to say it, the U is back, or like, I'm hoping Nebraska is back type shit. I do hope some stuff like that. But, like, if you have to say it, like USC, I think USC is kind of back. And I think they're going to be kind of scary. But when I say they're back, I mean, like, a strong 9-3, 10-2 back. I'm not saying, like, they're back. They're not like comparing apples to oranges like we are right now.
Not like early 2000s and
USC, like not the way we're talking. Like you just said, I don't want to empty calorie 12-0. That is a fucking special thing to say because that means you're spoiled in a sense, but also like you just know how great your team is. And you know how great the program is. And you know how great the turnover is. Like to me, Texas, we're back. All right, Texas, let's win. Like you've been picking on shitty teams and then losing every time you go against a good team. Like let's win. You know? Michigan, you were actually never back. That's the most hilarious part about Michigan. Like you were back and then you disappeared in seconds. Also, I have to make sure I say this because I said in the group text. I will say this about Sorsby that sucks. It sucks you can't get a job, but Harbaugh's allowed to coach. I understand. Like that I don't agree with that. And I like what's his face? Pete Carroll. He was about to get crushed by the sanctions at USC.
Dude, you see apparently this Michigan basketball coach, they're saying the same shit's happening.
Bro, Michigan's wild.
That
He's
he
a
was
Michigan
running
man.
He's running from illegal recruiting, and that's why he took the
Dusty,
what NBA job
Dusty
did he
May.
take? Yeah, what NBA job he just take?
Mavericks.
Thank
Mavericks.
you. Yes. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, there's some shit coming out now that was, and this is exactly how the more shit started. 2.5 was these little fucking message boards posting like, "Hey, there's some crazy shit's going on." So
If you know how people say Michigan
man.
man, if anybody ever says, "Hey, he's a Michigan man around me," I'm like, "Get away from me." Well, that's a Michigan man. Get away from me. Like, don't touch me. Don't look at my wife. Like, get the fuck away from me, dude. Swear to God. Speaking of people get away from him, shout out Brian Kelly. He's going to be doing the Mountain West. That's how we end that bitch. Who's going to be watching Brian Kelly with his ChatGPT notes? Can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting. No, it's going to be a good year for us, boys. It's going to be fun. And this pod went a little bit longer than I thought, but you know what? We haven't talked in a while, so I had a good time. You guys got anything before we get off?
No, sir.
Yeah, I actually, real quick,
Yeah.
I got something on Notre Dame, man.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
You guys aren't gonna like it, but I got something on Notre Dame.
Oh,
This came to me a couple months ago, and I'm gonna share it with you guys now. My Heisman Trophy winner next year is CJ Carr, man. I genuinely 100% believe CJ Carr is gonna win the Heisman, and here's why.
I don't want that.
I
Keep going.
don't know when the last time Notre Dame's had two receivers at the same time, like Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter. CJ Carr is primed and ready to go. I was impressed with his play last year.
With Faison and Greathouse as a slot.
Yes. Absolutely filthy. This idea that somehow Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham like transferred from Ohio State because like they're bad or they're not.
Porter's the real good one though. Porter's like I think he's the real stuff.
Look at the room they left, dude. Look at the rooms they
left.
100%.
Even though I'll say this, Ennis ain't shit. Ennis is gonna fuck your guys' world up. I am ready for the Ennis curse. I have to say it. There's something about that little motherfucker. He's gonna fumble on the goal line.
He's gonna play much, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying though. He's gonna get in. He's gonna fuck it up. Keep going. Anyways, I don't know why. If I ran into Ennis, I'd get a beer for you, bud. I love it.
There's people like there, and I kind of get it. You know, when a good player leaves your team like voluntarily, like some of the Ohio State fans are like, we don't fucking want them anyway. It's like, no, those guys are very talented fucking players.
Yeah, we lost a D lineman to Indiana like that.
Yeah, and when's the last time Notre Dame has had two number one receivers at the same time that are exceptionally athletically talented like those guys? They could be on the field at the exact same time. And the last point, CJ Carr, I think, is going to win the Heisman because I think they're going to hammer some of these fucking teams. I think this could be a year where you see a 70-3 fucking Notre Dame game.
Oh, yeah, he's going to go over 4K possibly.
Yeah,
like
because
that's
they're fucking pissed off. And if you want to show the NCAA, don't fuck with me, win 5 games in a row by 56-point margins, and that's how it's going to be. So I don't think Freeman is going to, for any of his coaching faults that you guys might have seen. I'm not as privy to them as you guys, obviously, but any of his coaching faults, I think he's not going to leave it up to chance this year. And he's going to go, we are going to fucking house everybody that can be housed. And then I think too, like, who's your running back? Aeneas Williams?
Yes. Yeah, Aeneas Williams. Yep.
So there's
we have a freshman that's moving up, but we'll see if he plays.
Who's the ACL guy? Is it Nolan James?
Yep.
Nolan James, yeah, the big guy.
Yep.
Like, I think they'll definitely be good, but you're coming off the greatest running back room perhaps ever at Notre Dame, with Love and Price. I mean, I don't even think that's a question,
Yeah.
So it's not that they can't lean on the run game. I don't think they will because it's not a situation where there's 7 minutes left in the third quarter and you grab Aeneas Williams and go, okay, finish the game. Like you would Jadarian Price, you go, okay.
Well, and we also trust our defense now way more than we ever would because they're vets and they're really good. Like you can afford a 3 and out because you're gonna get the ball right back.
So I don't even call myself a Notre Dame outsider. I consider myself Notre Dame adjacent because of you guys, you know? So like I might be looking in on Notre Dame, but I'm looking in from pretty fucking close, and I see all these bits and pieces adding up to what I think could be a Heisman season for CJ Carr.
100%, dude. It scares me. I want him to be really good, but like he still has to stay. But also, if Notre Dame wants to compete for a national championship, CJ Carr's got to be in the Heisman race.
So there's like an NFL draft thing right now that everyone's already convinced that CJ Carr and San are coming back for extra years, which I'm kind of surprised about. Just because like what they put on tape last year, they both are first round picks if they wanted to leave, most likely.
Yeah.
But like I'm telling you, dude, from all the draft stuff I watch, it's almost like known that they're both going back to college already.
Well, it's kind of like I always take that with a grain of salt, especially after last year. We thought Kubnik would be crazy. We thought Sellers would be gone. Like, I think it's just heavy weighted because of Chambliss, Manning, and Moore. And I think like that'll play a big part. But to be very honest with you, I think I could easily see it where it's Moore, Sayan, and Carr is the top three by the end of the season. Now I love
especially
Manning.
Carr with the size.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially Carr with the size.
Yeah, and I love Manning and stuff. I do, and I love Chambliss too. But like if they don't show that they're NFL ready, they still have to show that they're college ready at the end of the day. Sometimes. Now Chambliss is a dog. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying. Like to make that
Cinderella story.
Yeah, to make that extra level to be guaranteed NFL. Yeah. Like CJ's Carr's got that thing. That's what makes me kind of frustrated. Where I want to make sure we use him while we have him because like. You're not going to get a guy with that arm talent. That's everyone's heard about CJ Carr since he was like 15. That type of guy, you know. So it's like, yeah. But also like with that, it's like a lot's got to come into play. We got to be healthy. I'm excited to see the difference in the game plan calling because like we were so run heavy and then pass out of it, which kind of fucked CJ Carr. It's kind of like what you guys were saying with saying. It was just the play style really didn't allow him to bust out numbers the way he could. Like CJ Carr was going deep, but like only when they'd let him. Like everything else was dink and dunk because it was supposed to set up the confusion with the run. And now it's like, I don't even give a fuck. If people are like, what if Aeneas Williams doesn't play well? I'm like, then fuck it. We gave him a ball a couple times and now we're just going to throw 40. I don't give a fuck. Like whatever we have to do to be somewhat more elite. And Notre Dame's never had that situation. I'll answer your question, TJ. Last time we had a wide receiver room like that, we had no offensive line, no running backs. We had Jimmy Clausen thrown to Michael Floyd and Golden Tate. That's what we had going on.
I was about to say.
And they were nasty. They were nasty. And that's why everyone thought Jimmy Clausen was going to be NFL quarterback. It wasn't because he was good. It's because he was putting up numbers with him. Even though, shout out Jimmy Clausen, he's technically, I think, considered our best recruit we've ever had at quarterback in Notre Dame history. Isn't that ironic? I've been following a bunch of shit, too, on social media. Like, just because you're a 5-star usually doesn't mean you're shit. There's so many 5-stars that end up being nothing. You guys know that as Ohio State fans. You've had a handful of 5-stars come through, and they kind of wither away by the time everything's said and done. But I appreciate that, TJ. I hate it and love it. I'm just superstitious. I've never had this before.
I just wanted to share it. And it was literally like, I thought about it a couple months ago, and I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, CJ Carr, the golden road to the Heisman, man. So I'm retired from sports betting at the ripe old age of 28, but I'm going to come out of retirement for one bet, and it's going to be the CJ Carr future Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh, dude, I'll cry.
You want the odds? Let's get the odds real quick before we get off here, boys.
Yeah, you give me CJ Carr, Heisman, and national championship, and I think I'm retired I'm just retired.
Jack will ascend.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, like
you're gonna have Mike meet you on the beach like Andy Dufresne.
Really
Shawshank.
Yeah. What are you saying?
CJ Carr is the favorite.
Yeah.
Plus 750.
No shit.
Yeah.
Arch Manning's plus 800. Arch is right behind him at plus 800.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you guys. Everybody, you guys seen him, but I'm excited for everyone to see how good that boy is, bro.
Low key, I thought that was a hot take when I brought it up.
I need all the quarterbacks to be good. I need all the quarterbacks to be good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a quarterback. This is gonna be a quarterback heavy Heisman other than JJ.
I just need there to be. I need there to be 5 quarterbacks. Be like, yeah, you can talk me into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's really what I want. And for that, I need CJ Carr to be one of those quarterbacks.
Oh, CJ Carr in a Browns jersey, that'd be electric.
That'd be fun because you could actually root for him.
Yeah, I rooted for Brady Quinn too. Let's see how that turned out. Well, fucking Clark ran off. He's fucking out, dude. I knew this all the time. I'm actually proud of him for sticking through. I saw him yawn 3 times. I know that fucking Steam, his new computer shit is going crazy. He wants to play a video game right now. He's like a little kid. Can I play? Yep, you can play, and then just take off. But I'm glad to be on with you guys again. Everyone listening, we will be back with more and more episodes down the road. We'll spacing these ones out during the summer because even this, I'm like, well, I don't think we have shit to talk about for a while. So we don't want to overdo it, but we'll be doing a lot more during the season. We have a lot of ideas. I love what Eric was texting us too. Like, we'll try to do a couple more fun off-season stuff, and we'll do a bunch of fun stuff leading up to the season. I have a really good feeling that the boys will be able to meet up this year. We've been doing this a little while. It'll be a little easier to just meet up and talk. We'll work around Clark's JV schedule as the offense coordinator of JV football. I love it. So we'll see how that goes. We'll introduce you guys to Anthony Lugay here soon. He's on a cruise right now. I was thinking about having him on today. Yeah, I think it's like a second or third fucking cruise. That motherfucker's crazy. I would never get on a cruise. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not doing that. But he'll be added on for a little while as a coach, helping us out, with Coach Takes. He's taking some time off from New Albany, which is a powerhouse down here for football, or it used to be, which is also why he got fired. No, I'm joking. I hope he hears that. So we'll be doing a bunch of fun stuff. As for me, if anybody's still listening, I got a bunch of shit going on, dude, comedy-wise. I don't even know what to fucking say. Before, it was fun just being a couple shows here or there, so catch me in Virginia in a month, catch me in Florida in August.
He's coming everywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm all over the fucking place, dude. I'm Wilt Chamberlain. I'm coming all over you guys. Swear to God, dude. Got a lot. Stuff coming up soon, though, that's pretty important. I'll be down in Cincinnati for the Funny Cincinnati contest. I'm really excited to go to the Go Bananas Club. I've not been there before. I hear a bunch of good things about it. So we'll have a good time with that and catch the Columbus Comedy Fest at the end of August as well. This is From the Deep. Thank you guys so much.